Are you really picking the Islanders over the Flyers? RCA, I picked the Islanders over the Flyers and I won. You see that? You see 56% of chat thought the Flyers were going to win. And I told everybody the Flyers have an issue with their power play line. And guess what? Your boy was right. Just saying. Now, I do think the Islanders are really hot. I think the Islanders are really hot, and we'll dig into it. But I mean, it's not that the Flyers can't win that series, because they can. It's just that I really, who gets game 3? Hold on, let me go to my. Oh, you know what? Dang it! Hold on, I didn't put a thing on that. Hold on a second. I want to take a look first. So this is what I'll say. So far, I have kind of been like, I've been saying the same thing, but most of the teams have not kind of followed through with it. So the series is split 1-1. Yeah. The series is split 1-1. I think so. Until I see a change from the Flyers, I'm gonna go with the Islanders. Yeah. So game 3 for the 2-1 split, I'm gonna say Islanders here. What up, Kopaja? What's up, man? Kopaja, we didn't see you yesterday. Everything all right? You good? What up, homie Gizmo? What are the locks today? Well, so for those of you that are coming in right now, what you see right here, this is our pick'em screen. And so these are the games from last week, and these are the picks that chat and I made last week. So we're going to go over the results real quick. We're going to announce who the winner is, so that then we can give them a gift card or whatever. And then we're going to open up what the picks are for, or not the picks, but we're going to open up what are the games that we're going to be covering for this next week. And so actually, here, let me take a step back. If you're new here, what up? How's it going? My name's Paul, Covert GG on Twitch, and I've been streaming for 4 years on Twitch, just on that hustle, trying to make this thing, a little bit bigger. And we try to focus on having a good time, being silly, carrying on, and all that. So I stream 5 days a week. So we go Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern to 3:30 p.m. Eastern, and then Saturdays from 8:30 a.m. Eastern to 12:30 p.m. Eastern. So the weekday streams are usually video games, and the weekend streams are sports. So what you're seeing right now is a show that we came up with back in February that's called This Week in Sports. And so what we do is we cover the things that happened during the week. Now, the way that the show breaks down is we typically start with our last week's pick'ems, right? So this is a fully interactive thing that we have put together that works with Twitch chat. So essentially, you're going to make your picks right from Twitch chat, and then you're going to see your picks reflect on the board, okay? So we'll go over who the winners are. We're going to announce the winner, and that individual gets a $10 gift card. Then once we've announced who the winner is, then I'm going to change this screen, and right before your eyes, like magic, you're going to see all the upcoming games for the next 7 days, and you are going to then make your picks, okay? So you make your picks, and then we kind of just monitor them throughout the week. After we do that, if you look right down here on this ticker bar, these are the subjects that we're going to be covering for the day. However, I don't decide what we talk about. You guys do. So what I do is throughout the week, I do a bunch of show prep, and I do a bunch of research regarding all the different sports, right? And then we do a straw poll. So like right now above your chat, there's a straw poll. And you all are going to decide now which sport we're going to cover first. Okay? So I don't decide that. So this show, I have to be really dynamic. I have to be able to talk about any sport, right? I have to have like, I have my own topics that I come up with. However, if somebody's like, hey, what do you think about this or that, then I have to be ready to go, right? And so you all decide those things, and then we just go with the flow. And then every time we start a new one, another straw poll will come up, and then you decide what the next thing is going to be. At the end of the show, we do something called Battle Trivia. And so Battle Trivia is a game show that is, you know, it's like a trivia game. However, we've added a wrinkle to it, which is in between trivia questions, you can actually attack your fellow Twitch chat member, or you can shield them if you want to. So let's say like you're neck and neck and there's somebody in first place and you're in second. The next question, right before the next question, you can attack them, you know, by doing certain things using a similar interaction like we have created here for you. And so then it's called Battle Trivia. So that's kind of the flow of the show. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you like video games and sports, then I think you're really going to like this place a lot. And it is quite different to what you're probably used to seeing on Twitch. So anyway, what's going on, Stin McGee? Tyru's games? No, like I said, my name's Paul. Yeah, my name's Paul, and the channel's Covert GG. What up, K-Dog? How's it going? Nice to meet you. Cameron Rocks, what's up? Is Rockets Thunder Game 5? I believe is tonight. I believe so, yeah. And I think Westbrook is coming back. The word on the street is that he looks really good. Orilon 444, what up? What it do, man? Yeah, nice to see you as well, Kopaja. Yeah, work was really busy yesterday. Thanks for asking, but that's basically... No, okay, sounds good. You're all right, though? Everything's good. Video games and sports is 80% of my life. 10% sleep, 10% eating. What up, BJ? Welcome back, man. Welcome back. So anyway, I guess we can talk about the results from last week, and then we'll announce who the winner was. So last week we had, and it feels like an eternity now, right? But I guess it was actually literally a week ago. But we had Bucks versus Magic, and the Bucks came back with just kind of like a resounding no, right? And so the Magic won game one, and you thought, man, the Bucks might have faltered. And there were other games where the Bucks didn't necessarily look great. However, they came back, and it was a statement win, I think. 121-107. The Bucks defense, number one defense in the NBA, and they showed why. Now, granted, the Magic are down two of their starting forwards, and so they are a bit hobbled themselves. It would have been interesting to see what they would have or could have done with a full lineup, but this was, you know, this is what I expected, right? So sometimes a team might come in overconfident, given what the current environment is for the NBA with this bubble, and really for the NHL. Like, you've kind of seen some games that you thought like, well, that's weird. So, but anyway, so the Bucks end up dropping. They lose the first game, and then after that, they've, you know, gone on an obvious run, and so GG to them on that. And then we had the Stars versus the Avalanche. So anyway, so I got the Bucks game right, but 93% of chat chose the Bucks last week. So Stars versus Avs, the Avalanche have been playing really good hockey. They've looked really, really good. And then they ran into Dallas. And so one of the things I was saying last week is that Dallas has been playing, they've been playing solid hockey. They've had kind of a tough path here in the playoffs and in their bubble, in the NHL bubble. And they came out and they showed and proved. Again, the Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche were, I think it was like, they were like the 2 and the 3 seed during the regular season. So these teams were pretty evenly matched, although Dallas did have them edged out in the standings originally. So Dallas playing really well, and we'll take a look at that later if we get into the NHL. We'll look at like what the situation is for the Avalanche, and I don't think it looks good for them right now. That isn't to say that they can't turn that series around, but I would say that the Dallas Stars definitely have the momentum right now. Lakers versus Trailblazers. So the Lakers wind up taking this one 116-108. Again, similarly, the Trailblazers took game one off the Lakers, and then the Lakers have kind of they've just taken over. Their defense has played really, really good, like really, really good. And I still think that the Los Angeles Lakers have some big holes offensively, but defensively they've played very well. And in this last game against the Trailblazers, their defense was otherworldly. Now, the matchups I think are more favorable for the Lakers. Obviously, they were the number 1 seed, right? So they're going up against the number 8 seed in the West. Quotation marks, just because of all the stuff with the play-in and all of that. But so the Trailblazers, I still think could have had potential, and we'll get into this game later. I'm assuming we're going to talk NBA today. And so the Trailblazers had potential. I was supremely disappointed in them in this game. Supremely disappointed. All right. So, then we had Bayern Munich versus Paris Saint-Germain, so PSG. This was a great game. Bayern ends up winning it 1-0. The officiating was really weird in this game, which seems to be a continuous theme with a lot of these high-profile soccer matches, is that the officiating is just like, I don't know, it's just so weird. I am relatively new to soccer, so those of you out there that are big soccer fans, when we talk soccer, I'm pretty humble to begin with, but when we talk soccer, I'm coming from a position like I just want to learn, and so I rely on you all to teach me in addition to my own efforts off stream. But so when we're talking soccer, I ask a lot of questions, and so they all come from kind of from an innocent perspective. I'm never trying to incite a riot or anything. I know that people are very passionate about their soccer and their sports in general. But so when we get there, I do have some questions. Obviously, we have some drama around soccer this week too, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, so anyway, so Bayern ends up winning the Champions League, so GG to them. That was my pick. It's only 21% of chat had picked PSG, despite the fact that I had people in chat last week saying that PSG has a better team than Bayern does. So I thought that was interesting. Clippers versus Mavericks. Clippers wind up taking the game by 2, so 135 to 133. We had 67% of chat had said that the Clippers would win. Dallas ends up picking one up there, and then we'll kind of get into that situation. The situation between Dallas and the Los Angeles Clippers has kind of devolved a bit. And so obviously, when last seen, the Dallas Mavericks were down Kristaps Porzingis, and Luka Doncic looked like he was pretty hobbled. And we'll get into why and the what's and the and all that stuff. But that series has gotten a little bit chippy. So we'll talk about that some more. But anyway, for this particular game that we put on the pick'ems, the Mavs end up taking it 135 to 133. So I got that wrong, and so did several people. However, I think that in the end, the Clippers will emerge victorious, and they're going to take that series and advance, especially because of the injuries that the Mavericks currently have. Raptors wind up dropping 150 on the Nets. Doesn't look like there was much defense going on in that game. We do need to try to get a prognosis on Kyle Lowry, because the Raptors, for me, were the hottest team in the NBA just a week ago. And so I think it's really important. They don't have a superstar. They need all their all-stars if they're going to be able to pull this thing off. So Raptors wind up whooping on the Nets. Bruins wind up taking game 1 off the Lightning, but we're going to have to come back around to this when we talk NHL, because the Lightning have surprised me a bit. Now, granted, we're going to get into why I think the Bruins are struggling right now. So we'll talk about that. Maybe this small little break that the NHL took might end up being good for the Bruins. I'm not sure. But when last seen, the Lightning put 7 on the Bruins, which is not good, especially for a hockey game. Jazz versus Nuggets. We went Jazz in this one. It was a really tight game, 129 to 127. And I think this was the game where Donovan Mitchell put 50 and Murray put 50 up. So this was a high flying act for this game. Heat wind up taking the Pacers and they wind up sweeping them 4-0 and they advance. So this one's 99-87. Of course, I got this one right. And then finally, Flyers versus Islanders. Last week, I had a lot of people telling me don't sleep on the Flyers, and I haven't. I think the Flyers have a really good team. Unfortunately, if you got to watch the games, right? And that's like the big thing. What happens often is people look at the scores or they only watch part of the game and they're like, oh yeah, no, this is okay, right? And so then you make determinations based off of records or like what you saw in a highlight reel. And this is a conversation that I have often with Brandon because so like Brandon only watches the Miami Heat. That's it. Right. So then we'll have a conversation. He's like, dog, you're crazy, bro. You're insane. How can you say that, bro? Like, look at his stats. And I'll be like, did you watch the game? Did you see his defense? No, I didn't watch the game. Oh, okay. All right. So then you don't know that he got smoked on defense all night. Right. So, and I think that now, especially when you're talking about the playoffs, this isn't the regular season anymore. Right. So when you're talking playoffs, Brandon is smart. Give Brandon a promotion, please. So in particular, when you're talking playoff anything that's professional sports, right? What's going to happen is the other team is going to find what your weaknesses are and they're going to exploit them. So you might be a great regular season player, or maybe you're just like a really nice piece and you look good during the regular season. But come playoffs, when the big boys come, they're going to eat you up, right? And so, but you've got to watch the game to be able to see that. And so like, so when Donovan Mitchell drops 50, okay, and he's a minus 11, right? I'm like, well, yeah, I like the 50. That's cool. But guess what? You didn't do anything to make your team win other than just put points up for yourself, right? So anyway, I mean, again, I'm not trying to knock Donovan Mitchell again this week. I'm not a big believer in that dude. So he's got to show me. I mean, he could be great, but he's going to have to show me over a sustained period of time. So anyway, so Islanders wind up taking the Flyers. Islanders are hot too, man. Islanders are hot. And I'm not going to say they're like Raptors hot, but the Islanders are pretty hot right now. And so they wind up taking it 4-0. That series is tied 1-1 currently. So anyway, so those are the results of our Chickity Cheek Chink. What's up, Leeson? How's it going? Welcome back. Notable, how you doing? Toronto 6 displaced. The other AZ covert Clippers take it. No, Mavericks took it. Oh yeah, sorry. Right. No, what I was saying, Shadow, I'm sorry. What I was saying was the Mavericks took that game, but I think the Clippers will take the series, right? Because they're in a playoff series, best of 7. Which was what I was trying to say. Sorry. Unlike any other, thank you for the biddies. I appreciate that. Also, just a quick little timeout. If I can thank Roughneck, Cleared Mind, Forgive Ma, Bayam, Morad, Cymer World, By the Way Chippy, Joker 666, Homie Gizmo, Cameron Rocks, K-Dog, Sammy's, Undead Rising, Left 112, and Milldog 1911. Thank you very much for the follows. I appreciate the follows. Welcome to the channel. Again, as I said to the group that was here earlier, this show is called This Week in Sports, and we basically try to cover what happened during the week in terms of sports. And so this channel is a mix of video games and sports. And so the weekday streams, 8:30 a.m. Eastern to 3:30 p.m. Eastern, are dedicated, or not dedicated, but they typically will focus on video game related content. And then on Saturdays, we're 8:30 to 12:30, so 8:30 a.m. Eastern to 12:30 p.m. Eastern, and that content, or this content, focuses on sports content. NHL is the first topic. All right, sounds good to me. Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you, Silent. So yeah, so the chat has decided, chat has spoken. We're talking NHL first. Now, before we do that, let's take a look here. So we got Black and White Okapi was the winner for the week. And so this is kind of our hidden view. So this way, during the week, we can show like who has done what, except these are like code names. All right. These are code names so that way, we don't kind of like spoil who the winner is before Saturday. And so, of course, I got 9 right, which is incredibly good. And at least I wasn't as bad as whoever these 3 are. So we're going to shame these 3. 0 right? Really? I mean, you should be ashamed of yourself. First, let's go ahead and announce the winner. So Silent Reveries ends up getting the W. 11 correct. Dude had a perfect score. I don't think that's ever been done before. So he actually got all of them right. And so, again, you're going to see a corresponding letter next to each team. You're going to type an exclamation point picks, and you're going to put all those letters together similarly to how Eddie and Displace just did. All right. So this week we've got Lightning versus Bruins, and we're going to be talking hockey first today. So I guess it's fitting. I guess it works out. But so we're going to be talking hockey today, and this is a big game. This is a really big game. So that's today at 12 o'clock. And the Lightning could potentially go up 3-1 here in this game. So this is a really big deal. Really big game here. So must watch. Like, you have to watch this game. So Bucks versus Magic is going to be today at 3:30 p.m. I'm thinking Bucks here. Rockets versus Thunder. I think Rockets take this series, even though Oklahoma got a little bit of an upset earlier this week. I think with Westbrook coming back, I think it's easy peasy, baby. Easy peasy. Rockets all day. Lakers are going to crush the Trailblazers. I don't know if they end up crushing them in this game, but I think they take the series. So I'm just going to go with the team that I think is going to make the advancement. We have Smith versus Rakic, and so this is going to be the headline on UFC. So you have to pick that. You got Lawler versus Magny. So we saw Magny not that long ago. This has been a month since we've seen him, and dude's got great cardio, and so this will be an interesting fight. Celtics versus Raptors. Before we make this pick today, we're going to take a look to see what the health is of Kyle Lowry. We'll take a hard look at that. Clippers versus Mavs. Mavs are super banged. Definitely going to go Clippers on this one. Jazz versus Nuggets. That's a Sunday game at 8:30. I mean, here's the thing. The Nuggets have a great team. They really do. The Jazz have a commanding lead over them, and they've outplayed the Nuggets for the most part. Not exactly sure what is going on with the Nuggets. I am quite surprised at their performance against the Jazz. I think that if the Nuggets get eliminated here, I think Malone could be fired, which is unfortunate because I feel like firing anybody, kind of given the whole coronavirus thing, it feels a little unfair, but I mean, I guess life's unfair. So, I mean, business is business, baby. But it does, I mean, I would say if I was the owner of the Nuggets, I'd be supremely disappointed if the Nuggets get eliminated in this series. But anyway, the Jazz are playing well. They got Mike Conley back. I don't know who I'm going to pick here. Like, I want to say the Jazz picked this game up, but the Jazz, I want to say the Nuggets picked this game up and stretch the series, but I don't know. Like I said, I've been surprised by the Jazz for the most part. Dallas Stars versus Avalanche, man. Avalanche gots to win. They gots to win, man. The Avalanche are in trouble. And they need to make something happen here. So Canucks versus Golden Knights. This is another series that's kind of a toss-up. Golden Knights have been playing really well this season, but the Canucks have been playing really well in the NHL bubble. So this is a super tough series to call and a really tough game for me to pick. So I'm not sure. So I gotta really think about my picks here with my eyes closed. Again, the Lightning are playing really well against the Bruins. The Bruins are they're operating with a backup goaltender, so that's an issue. But I'm just a Boston Bruins believer, and so I'm gonna stick to my guns there. Rockets over Thunder. Westbrook's coming back. I think they start to clean up this series. Lakers over Trailblazers. I saw the fear in the eyes of the Trailblazers, and we'll get into that when we talk NBA today, assuming that we do. I'm going to go Magny over Lawler. I know, upset. I'm going to go Magny over Lawler here. And I'm going to go Smith over Rakic. And then I'm not ready to make the call on the Raptors game. Clippers for sure over Mavs. Man, I really want to see the Nuggets beat the Jazz, man. But that's more an emotional pick, so I'm gonna go Jazz over Nuggets. Even though I really feel like the Nuggets should win that game, and I feel like they're gonna come back and respond. And then you got Dallas over Avalanche, and then the Knights and the Canucks. So I'm not ready to pick. These are the games I'm not ready to pick. I'm not ready to pick the Canucks versus Golden Knights. I'm not ready to pick Dallas over Avalanche. And I'm not ready to pick Raptors over Celtics. Yeah, so those are the games that are still up in the air for me. The Bruins have given up 13 goals in 3 games. That's a lot. 13 goals in 3 games. Now, one of the things is, so a revelation that took place last week, I guess like the day before the Saturday broadcast, was that the Boston Bruins goalkeeper was gonna opt out of the rest of the NHL bubble, and so they are working with a backup goalkeeper. And so the Bruins defense has made a valiant effort to just kind of like keep in these games, but giving up 13 goals in 3 games, if I had to guess, more than likely their defense is gassed, right? They can't continue to play at that level for a sustained period of time and be able to pull this thing out, I think. D-Melo, what up, man? What's up, Chalk? Yeah, sorry, with this new mic you can't really see it, but it says they only hate us because they ain't us. Dan Vladahar has no NHL experience till the night we lost 7-1, sadly. 35-year-old backup goalie getting playoff minutes, 43-year-old defenseman that can't cover fast wingers, and a second line that isn't hitting the net. Defense should be rested, not stopping crap. Right. So actually, that is part of the reason why I'm picking the Bruins to beat the Lightning today, because the Bruins got a couple nights off. Right? They got an extra night off. Hopefully they're rested, right? Because I still think that the Bruins have a legitimate shot to get to the Stanley Cup So I'm not ready to throw in the towel, but yeah, it's a tall order. They have the most back-to-backs out of any team in the playoffs. Understood. I know. But they're rested, and I think that, yeah, 13 goals in 3 games, that's uncharacteristic if you look at their stats this year. But I understand that they have a huge problem right now. They have a huge problem, and they have no way to fix it. And I gotta tell you, I don't know what happens next year, because when we spoke about their goalkeeper opting out of the bubble, I was like, I think most people would understand like what he's going through, right? Like they just had a newborn, and so his priorities is family, and I think that is the right way to think. However, man, if the Bruins lose to the Lightning here, I think team chemistry could be a real issue. because I think these guys are gonna look at that and they're gonna be like, man, like he cost us our shot. You know what I mean? I don't know. When we are able to, we're gonna catch a Heat game. Yeah. Well, I guess it's gonna be a while, Chalk, for sure. Even fully rested, the Lightning just have much better talent. So I think so here's what I would say, and this is what we talked about last Saturday, which is the Lightning offensively they have better talent. I mean, they just do, right? Like the Lightning are that finesse team, although they have shown here in this bubble, in the NHL bubble, that they can play gritty hockey as well, but that's not their game, right? And that's why I still think that Boston could pull this out, because Boston can play gritty. They just got to play physical. But the problem is, how do you play physical when you're completely torn, right? Like you're just completely gassed. Like what do you do? Because I really do think that their defense is trying to overcome the net. Like they're trying to overcome this deficiency that they have in the net, which is their goalkeeper. And so, like, I mean, we've seen some of the games where like their defenders were playing goalie for them. Like the amount of deflected shots, but like after a certain point, like how many games can you string together with one night off to be able to like and still be physical, still be kind of a dominant force on the ice? And so I think that's the real issue. So I feel like the Bruins could be in trouble because of this. 22 people have voted in the poll. What should we talk about next? Yep, you guys have a couple seconds on that vote. So if it's over there. Sorry, it'll be up there above your chat. So you only have a few seconds. Make sure to get your votes in. Bruins not only have the dream line, Pasta, Marchi, Bergie, but all their lines are really well put together and chemistry is really good. It's not just forwards though. Vasilevsky is a monster goalie and Hedman is probably the best D in the series. All respect to Old Chara and young McAvoy. I agree. Jacob DeBrusque and David Krejci are helpful. The Bruins have depth to hit you with multiple lines. I believe their third line was the highest scoring in the NHL this season. Yeah, so I just think that like sometimes it's hard to overcome these things, you know, and you're in the playoffs, you got limited rest, and you're facing a team that is very fast. The Lightning are like the fastest team that I've seen in the NHL this season. Like it's crazy. Like they've got some skaters on them, boy. And the thing is, like, what do you have to do? Like, I think back to the, you know, the days where I actually played sports, and you know, when you've got a guy that can outskill you, you know what that means, right? You got to punish him, right? The dude's got better skill than you. He's faster than you. He's got more ups than you. He's a better shot than you. You know what that means? I got to hit him in the kidneys. I got to like chop him, right? I got to make him start to think about my physical presence, you know? Like if you, and like when we talked about The Last Dance with Michael Jordan is, right? Like what did the Detroit Pistons have to do, right? They played that thug ball, you know? Like Silent just said, right? They got like super physical and they tried to hurt him. Now, I'm not saying to hurt somebody. You don't think you have to hurt somebody, but what you do is you try to get physical, right? Like it's the only angle you have, especially in hockey, right? And so where being physical is to a certain extent is part of the game, right? It's legal. And so you got to check, right? You got to get up on guys. And the problem is you're 3 deep into a series and your goalkeeper can't keep up. And so at the very least, 2 of the guys on your team, so 2 out of 5, those 2 guys are gassed because they've been giving you everything they could and can in order to just keep you in the game, just to keep you relevant. And so I think that's the biggest issue. If they can get past the Lightning, then I think they could beat anybody at that point, because it just shows like the gumption they have, right? And that isn't to say, because Dallas is very potent offensively. However, I mean, so, you know, it's still, and, you know, it still could be a toss-up, but it's a tall order for the Bruins. Yeah, I didn't anticipate that their backup goalie would be like this much of a detriment to him. And again, you know, not to knock that dude, he's playing his heart out too. You know what I mean? So he's trying everything he can. However, you know, there's a reason why he wasn't a starter, right? So What's up, Vaxi? How's it going? Teddy Graham. I like that. I like Teddy Grahams. Wait, do you like the chocolate Teddy Grahams or the honey? 11 OG. What's up, man? How's it going? You like the bolts? Scoobs. How you doing, Scoobs? Scoobs, I haven't seen you in a minute. How you been? 35 people have made their picks. All you do is type !picks, letters you want. No space, comma, or anything between the letters. That's right. I can explain that again if it helps out. So currently we have 35 people that have entered into our pick'ems. If you're interested in winning a $10 gift card, then all you got to do is jump in this. If you don't, what's up, Canadian? If Apex, what's up, man? Your mom is a heat towel, boy. You got to mix the honey and the chocolate. I've never done that. It actually sounds pretty good, Turtle. So anyway, so what you've got here is our weekly pick'em. So these are all the games that we're showcasing for this week. And so the way it works is you have a series of rows and columns, right? Each row represents a matchup. So like down here, we got the Canucks versus the Golden Knights. And so you'll notice that there's a corresponding letter next to each team name, right? And that exists on the other side of the board as well. And so if you want to make your picks, all you do is type in !picks, so that's plural with an S at the end, space, and then just get all the letters that are next to the team that you think is going to win each matchup. So you're going to type !picks, space, and then all the letters all together in one shot, and you're good to go. And if you win a $10 gift card. So last week we had 177 people participate. Don't break my heart. Don't break my heart. Let's at least get 150 today, gang. So jump in there, make it happen, baby. Hey, Cheeky, what's up, man? Good morning. Taco Jacob, what's up? Win every pick? You don't have to win every pick, Turtle. Rows and columns. What is this? A day's stream? Who won, Covert? Yeah, we did reveal it, Zaya. It was Silent Reveries. Yeah. So also in hockey, what do you think of the Coyotes' punishment for combine testing violations? I mean, I think, you know, you have to make sure that you maintain a fair playing field. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I think like when we think about cheaters, right? And we'll, you know, if we get to soccer, we'll talk about Man City later, assuming that you think they were cheaters. And when we think about the New England Patriots, right? Like I think it's really important that you maintain the integrity of the game by making sure that the punishment fits the crime. And so I think sometimes if you're worried that other teams may do it, I think you maybe even go overboard on it. I think when we think about the Patriots, the New England Patriots, on this recent Spygate thing from last season where they were filming the sidelines and they lied, or it seems like they lied and all that stuff. I think that a 3rd round pick and whatever the fine was, I don't know, $1 million or something like that, I don't think that's enough. I think the NFL, that was the slap on the wrist, especially for a repeat offender. And so I don't know, I just think it's important that you go at it. A 1st and a 2nd round pick is proportionate. I mean, that's why I'm saying, like, I think it depends on how they view the issue, other AZ. Like, if they're worried that this could become a trend, then that's why I said they have to go a little overboard, because this way other teams will be like, bro, we're never doing it. We are not doing that. And if we were doing that, we're not doing it anymore. What's up, Doomsday Chili? Good morning, Timmy. Bill Belichick in The Godfather, and the NFL bows down to the Don. Oh, is The Godfather, yeah. So anyway, so that was Lightning versus Bruins. So I don't know, like, do you guys think the Bruins are done? You think the Bruins are dunzos? Like, who in chat thinks the Bruins are they're out? Like, the Lightning are going to take the series? It's the Patriot way. That's okay, unlike, we're good. I think it'll go 6. 11, who do you think will take it, though? I want to see a Bruins versus Canucks Stanley Cup so Bruins can win and Canucks can riot again. Dude, the Canucks are playing really good. But don't sleep on the Golden Knights, man. The Golden Knights have been consistent all season. They really have. Like, they've played very well. I think the Bruins take another game, but I can't see them taking the series. I think it's an uphill battle as well. Biased opinion, Bruins win in 7. Bolts, I believe in the Bees. I don't know. I think it's going to be tough. What's up, Crunker? How's it going? Welcome to the channel. How you doing? I hope you're enjoying yourself. I think it'll be a Bolts Knights final. I could see that happening, yeah. I mean, the West is tough, right? Because the Canucks are playing really well right now. They're hot. And the Golden Knights have played consistent pretty much all season. And then Dallas, right? Dallas and Colorado have been playing really good hockey, and Dallas is on is on a roll. So that's an issue too. So the West, I feel like the West is really hard for me to pick. Knights are one of those teams that's just better on the ice than on paper. Hey, what's up, Tatoes? Nice to see you. Okay, so Islanders on a run. Islanders on a run. So wait, can I? So okay, so just real quick. Well, actually, no, that's fine. So the Islanders series is tied 1-1 currently, but the Islanders have just, they've been on fire. They've played super well. They played really, really well, and it isn't that I think that the Flyers can't win that series, but yeah, what's up, Larzo? How you doing, man? Outright blasphemy if a team from Las Vegas wins the cup. Wait, why? I want to see the Raptors versus the Clippers in the finals. I think we're talking NBA next. Yeah, I think we're talking NBA next. So we can get into that, but we need to take a look, because I haven't looked at this, but I need to see what the final prognosis was for Kyle Lowry. Islanders are definitely tough, well structured. Yes. So the Islanders have really pow, pow, pow. Pow, pow, pow. Johnny boy coming in with a couple gifted subs. Lucas, Mate, Sesto, Suede Ninja, New Choppa, and Valerity. Welcome to the Scrub Nation. Johnny boy has just gifted you a sub to regain his top spot for the week, because he's a scumbag. But anyway, if I just said your name, you were gifted a sub to the channel. Welcome. I hope you're enjoying the broadcast. Enjoy the emotes and all that good stuff. St. Louis Blues fan, what's up, man? How you doing? Clippers aren't making it past the Mavs. You're so crazy. They played dirty and paid off the refs to get their wins. Here's your top gifter, and you call him a scumbag. He is a scumbag. Johnny is through and through. Yeah, I respect the Islanders. Their defense is impressive. Right. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So, thank you, Johnny. I appreciate it, man. I'm aware. So the Islanders offense is quick. They're very quick, and defensively they play good team defense. And so I mean, they're playing very, very well right now. They're playing very, very well. And like, it isn't that the Flyers have not played well this season, because they have. The Flyers, so the East was like this big hodgepodge all season. Like, even the teams that were like, they were kind of like on the bubble at the time before all this coronavirus stuff, there were teams that were like, they were just like a couple games out of the playoff picture. And so the East was like a hot mess, and the Flyers were kind of in that mix. The Islanders were definitely in that mix. And so it's just, the Islanders, they've got the momentum right now. They got the hot hand. They definitely have the tools to get the job done. And I will also say, similar to what we've seen with the NBA, which is the bubble has led to some like weird things, right? Like the athletes are just not playing the way they normally do, right? Like there's something wonky going on with the way these games unfold. And so I think that you have a situation where teams that normally you would have just kind of counted out, like, oh no, they're going to get eliminated. They're surprising people. So yeah, so I don't know. I mean, the Islanders are on an interesting run for sure. Thank you for the follows. Thank you, Fortress and St. Louis. Thank you very much. Welcome to the channel. Barry Trotz with a chip on his shoulder is the best coaching a team could ask for too. So anyway, so yeah, so Islanders on a crazy run. So I kind of point these things out so you know which games to check out if you're not like if you're not like a super crazy fan or whatever. But these are the games you want to check out. The Bruins versus Lightning today is a very important game. This game can decide the series. Not that the Bruins will be eliminated today, but typically going down 3-1 is like the kiss of death. So typically, so this is a game you want to watch so that you can like stay up on the most relevant stuff. I think the Islanders for the Flyers game, it's not on our board this week, but that's going to be a big game too, because it's a great series. Like, it's actually a fun series to watch. Stars and their pressure. So the Avalanche are under some incredible pressure this week, and specifically their Monday night game. So so you're gonna want to watch that game, and it's just interesting to me because the Avalanche have what it takes to win these games. It just hasn't worked out for them. And Dallas is hot, and they're just putting so much pressure. And so, like, I mean, I think Dallas is going to take this series, but it's not that I'm surprised necessarily, because the standings kind of like the way it shakes out is consistent. But at the same time, like, I think I expected more from the Avalanche than what's happened so far, you know? So, so the Avalanche have given up 14 goals in 3 games. That's a big problem. But the thing is that Dallas kind of just traditionally, Dallas has high-powered, kind of high-octane offense. Like somebody I think said earlier, they want to see the Stars versus the Lightning, which is interesting, right? Because of the names and stuff. But that would be a really offensively exciting series to watch. You know what I mean? So... what's up, Plano? Sullivan, how's it going? I'm in college football, so that's basically just SEC. Bruins versus Lightning. Puck drops in 2 hours and 25 minutes. Yes, sir. Sorry, I'm just kind of catching up on chat. Year of the rat, baby. Panthers all the way. It's really a shame that the Panthers haven't put anything together in a long time, man. Men who stare at games. What's up? Welcome to the channel, Johnny Boy. Thank you for gifting that sub. Why is the NBA teams when you're talking NHL? What? Leroy, what's that? Why is this NBA teams when you're talking? I'm confused. We're talking, well, we're talking all sports, Leroy, but are you saying the Pick'ems board? The Pick'ems board has hockey, NBA, and UFC. So there's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, we got more than one thing. I don't know. Who do you think is winning, Magny or Lawler? I went with Magny. So kind of going for the upset here. But I mean, you know, it's one of those things. No shot Bruins or Magny win, bro. What's up, Along Clean? How's it going? We'll see. Yeah, you're just confused. Oh, okay, got you. Yeah, if you look on the board up here, you've got UFC, right? So you got UFC here. You've got NBA, you've got NHL at the top and NHL at the bottom. So it's just the way that it flows on the board, Leroy, is by the day and the time of the game. That's all. Hey, Goof Off, what's up, man? He means because at the bottom it has NHL highlighted. Yes, because we're okay. So sorry. So the way this works, Leroy, no problem, Leroy. So the way this works is you guys decide what we talk about. So down here is our ticker bar, okay, and that shows you what we're currently talking about, okay. And then so there's a straw poll that we put up every time we start a new sport, like start talking about a new sport, and then chat decides what we talk about. Is the way it works. Hey DJ, welcome back, guys. If you're not already in the pick'ems, make sure to jump in there. All right. Canucks real. For those of you where are my Canadians at? Where are my Canadians at? What do you guys think about the Canucks? I really do think that the Canucks could take this series. Where the Canadians at, baby? Gang gang. Cope, thank you very much for gifting a sub to Men Who Stare at Goats. Thank you, Cope. I appreciate that, buddy. Thank you very much. Johnny Boy, thank you for the gifted sub as well. Appreciate it, man. Given Honey, what's up? Welcome to the channel. Lowrider, what it do? Hype for the resumption of the Hurling Cup in November. Most insane sport to watch ever. Good morning. I think the Canucks have some great young players. Yeah. Like, I feel like they could pull an upset here. Hey, Doofus, what's up? How you doing? They're the real deal. You're a Cards fan? No. I just, every week I try to wear something different along clean. I'm here, but not a fan of hockey when you have a team like the Leafs in my hometown. Hey, listen to me. Listen to me, Canadian 791. Listen, they had a good season, right? They gave it their best, right? You guys made a big trade, didn't you? I want Canucks to lose because they knocked out my Blues. Wah, 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 wah. I like the Canes, but they lost. The Canes were playing good too, man. I mean, I think hockey's been really good. Like, a lot of these series have been really, really good. Like, the games have just been fun to watch. Let's just look at this for a second. Vegas, no ice. Vancouver will also not that much ice, but if you go to the mountains, I'm confused. I'm sorry. Covert played for the Cards minor league program, the Hialeah Thoroughbreds. What up, JT? How's it going? You live in Toronto. I got you. Next week, he will wear a full goalie outfit and a mask and all. Boston will forever be Toronto's daddy. Oh, wow. What's your honest opinion on the Mavs over the Clippers? We're going to talk about that now, Kentucky. Yeah. Well, I mean, you could see my pick right now. So my pick. So, okay. So actually, I didn't explain this. I'm sorry. So I actually neglected to mention this. So, right, each row represents a matchup, and then there's a percentage. That percentage that you see, so like, for example, the Nuggets right now, it says 34%. So that means that 34% of chat has picked the Nuggets. Okay. If you see the logo for the channel, which is basically like a drawn dwarf picture of me, then that's my pick. So I think the Clippers are going to take that series, especially because of the injuries the Mavs have. All right, so we'll move on to NBA here. Hold on. Let's get our ticker over here. There's a lot to talk about NBA. A lot. There is a lot to talk about with NBA. How does one talk the GF into watching sports all night? Oh, the girlfriend. There's no talking. You just do it. You know what I mean? What's up, Bad Cananis? How's it going? Just for fun. Welcome. Mr. Thick, how's it going? Andrew, what up? How do I make my picks? Okay, no problem. Here, let me help you out. Okay, so here we go. Everybody ready? All right, so this is our pick'ems board. All right, you have a series of rows and then columns, right? Each row represents a matchup. So you've got the Canucks versus the Golden Knights. There's a letter that corresponds to each team. So the way you make your pick is you type in !picks in chat, space, and then and then all the letters that correspond to the teams that you think are going to win. Okay. So for example, if you were going to pick all the teams in the left-hand column, you would just go !picks, space, and then just put all the letters together that are on this side, A-C-E-G-I, and you just make it into one word, and you're done. Right. So that, I mean, that's just if you were just going to do, I don't know, like just to kind of make a simple example, right? Like if you thought everybody on the left was going to win. Now, if you didn't understand my instructions and you want to like see like the text-based instructions, you can type !pick'em, which you see up there in yellow. And so you can type that into chat and then you get a command prompt and it'll tell you how you do it as well. What if there are more than one team that started with B? They don't. No, it isn't the name of the team. There's literally a letter right here next to Canucks, which is U. So this letter that's in this bubble next to each team, Leroy, is the letter you're going to pick. You with me? You good? You got me, baby? Just give me a thumbs up. So last week we had good, perfect, excellent. Sorry. So last week we had 177 people participate in the pick'ems, and I really would like to try to get close to that again. I was hoping we'd get to 200 today, but maybe not, you know? So, but if we can get to 100, I'd be very happy. Covert like this, exclamation point picks, Covert sucks. Yes, that's actually correct. Team right side is definitely the best. All right, so NBA. So before we get into anything with that's down here in the ticker, okay? We had a postponement, or there was actually a boycott by the players of the games. The NHL actually followed by postponing their games by a day as well. Major League Baseball did the same, and then some NFL teams canceled their practices and whatnot. And so before we talk about this, I think it's important that we talk about what happened, why it happened, and I think why it's important. Okay, so generally speaking, I'm not the type of, I'm usually not on one side or the other. And what I mean by that is, like, most people are either on the left or the right, and I'm kind of, that's not me. And so what I try to do is I try to look at, like, what are the things that are relevant and factual, and then I try to go from there. And so I do think it's important that we shine a light on the things that are going on. So instead of doing a prepared speech and all of that, I'm gonna kind of like just go off the cuff for like 2 minutes here. And what I did was I made bullet points on like what we actually know. And so I'm just gonna kind of just speak honestly, frankly, and off the cuff here a little bit. But like I said, I did make some bullet points. So there was a shooting in Wisconsin where a citizen was involved in some kind of an altercation, or there was some kind of an altercation, and the police responded to the scene, and that individual was subsequently shot by the police. He was not killed, but he's now paralyzed because of it. And so he was shot 7 times in the back. Now, the details and the facts are a bit sketchy, right? Like, so if you, like, depending on what channel you tune into, they're going to tell you, one thing or the other, right? But the bottom line is that we actually don't know all the facts, right? It does seem that there's the possibility that the individual that was shot did resist at some point. They apparently also has a bit of a sketchy past, right? And what we know is that the police shot him in the back 7 times, right? So, like, these are the facts that we currently have at our disposal. And so what I would say to you is, because, like, sometimes people will be like, oh yeah, but that guy's got a criminal record, or they'll be like, oh, but you don't know what he was. You're right, we don't. And so that's true, we don't know. But so yes, I would say we still need to see what it is that happened, right? We still need to see what are the facts on the ground. That said, you as a private citizen in this country, in the United States of America, if you were to shoot somebody in the back 7 times, even if it was in self-defense, right? Because you were in fear for your life, there's a really good chance that you're going to be convicted of a crime. Okay. So, because it is hard to justify that you were in fear for your life when the individual has his back to you. Okay. So that isn't to say that maybe he was reaching for a gun, or maybe he was reaching for a knife. We don't know that. And that's the problem, right? We don't have those facts. And so maybe they saw a gun, so they just went for the gusto on it. We don't know. So right now I'm coming from a position, and I'm a position of, we don't know all the facts, and until we know the facts, it's hard to make or draw conclusions on what was right and what was wrong. I just know, yes, there also were kids, and his kids were in the car. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to highlight that if this was you and you were a private citizen in fear for your life and you did this, right now you would be in a world of hurt, because you're not supposed to shoot somebody in the back, because how do you justify that that's self-defense, right? Like, how do you say I was in fear for my life as he was running away from me, right? So anyway, so again, I'm just kind of going off the cuff here, and I'm going off the cuff here, so I'm just kind of giving you what we know. And so I'm not trying to litigate this on Twitch or anything. I'm just trying to kind of illuminate what it is that took place, and then how that kind of led to certain events with sports. So in my opinion, what I would tell you is that public servants must be held accountable, and that does not only extend to police officers. I think city officials, I think politicians need to be held accountable. When they break laws, they need to be held accountable. Otherwise, you create a culture of individuals that are literally above the law. So we don't know what the facts are in this case, or we don't know all the facts. So right now it's too difficult. But what I would say is it's important that once we do have those facts, if this was not justified, that the individuals that committed the crime be held accountable. So now I had somebody earlier this week say, well, I'm really upset with the NBA. Yes, this is sports talk. That's correct. It is sports talk, but we're talking about the NBA right now. And so we're talking about the boycott that took place this week. And so I have to kind of give the backstory to that so that we can then talk about the NBA, because I don't want to ignore what happened, right? I think you should address things that are important, and then we can keep going. So somebody earlier this week was in my chat and said, man, I'm really upset with the NBA players because they're boycotting this or that. And what I said to him was, I said, I'm all for peaceful protests. I think that's important. And so I support people doing peaceful protests. I don't support like use of force and crime, acts of crime. And so I am all for the NBA players using their platform to protest peacefully and try to put pressure on, whatever it is their thing is. You might not agree, or maybe I don't agree with what some people do when they're peacefully protesting, but that's the whole point. That's why the Constitution of the United States exists, is to protect your right to be able to say, I disagree with this, and so I'm going to protest this or boycott this in the way that I see fit. And so I saw that comment, and I'm not like trying to like lambaste that dude for saying that, because he's a good guy. But what happens is you see what the fringe is doing or saying, and then you kind of just go to what the extremes are. But the truth is that this is the right way to do it. So anyway, so I wanted to kind of just cover that. I wanted to explain to y'all what it is that took place, and then we can talk about the rest of the NBA. However, so essentially what took place was the NBA players boycotted their Thursday night games and their Friday night games as they were trying to make a decision about whether or not they were going to continue to participate in the NBA playoffs, right? And so anyway, so that's kind of, I wanted to start here because that's the elephant in the room, and I don't like to shy away from things. I like to just tackle it. Let's talk about it. Let's be honest about it. What do we know, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, so that's that. Go Cards, what up, Tatted? How's it going? Payne Monk, how's it going? Dallas fan, how you doing? Dallas, man, you got a shot in the NHL. What's up, Suprained? How you doing? Crotch Juice, and I like the name. Yeah, I like that. 62 people have put in their picks. To do so, you type in ! Picks, letters you want, no space, comma, or anything between the letters. Example. Thank you, BJ. Thanks for providing that. So anyway, I know, like, you know, we're here to, like, you know, what's up, Striker, Monkey, Cloud Jr., and Chris Staps. What's up, man? Well said. Use what you know to make your own opinion. Correct. I just, you know, try to, what are the facts available? You know what I mean? Detective, what's up? Smat, how you doing? Ozzy Nick, T-Tie, slightly overweight Jesus, what's up, man? J Llama 52 and Luth, what's up, man? How you doing? Z Lynx, Nemalode, and Little Timmy, what's up, man? Mur 2Tap, Morelius, sad to hear that, and Given Honey, what's up, man? Hi everybody, welcome to the show. Happy Saturday. What up, Steve? What up? How's it going, man? Welcome back. Mr. Money, can someone explain to me, because I'm not American, why you need to shoot someone 7 times in the back? Well, that's kind of what I was alluding to. Yeah. What's up, Cassell? If Raptors can beat Boston, they'll win the championship again. I don't know about that. That's kind of a leap. Okay, so we're NBA now, all right? And the ticker, these are the topics that I put together, but if we want to talk about that right now, Cassell. So Cassell said the following, for those of you out there. Cassell said, if the Raptors can beat Boston, they'll win the championship again. Echo, thank you, bro. Thank you for the 5 months. What up, man? How you doing? Thank you so much, and welcome back. Dude, you just missed our NHL segment, man. So you guys, so my question to S. Cassell is, do you think that Boston is the best team that the Raptors could face in the East? As a Celtics fan, I have to say Raptors have a better team. I would agree with that, yeah. Raptors fans got that legalized marijuana. Raptors are way better, I agree. Celtics are playing well, though. Yeah. Celtics aren't deep enough. Lowry will probably play tomorrow. That's what we're actually going to look that up, too. Yeah. Raptors have a bench. Yep, they definitely do. Steady Freddy. Is Lowry out for game 1? Let's take a look. So I'm still waiting for Cassell to give me a response. I haven't seen it yet. So Cassell, my question to you is, and I guess to anybody, is do you guys think that the Celtics are the toughest out for the Raptors that's currently in the East? All right. And while you guys think about that question, I'm going to, I know that's what I'm talking about, Jaden. Yeah, I'm with you, bro. Okay, and so Kyle Lowry out today. Let's see here. Man, you see, like, I feel like the Raptors they haven't released this, man. Let's look at Bleacher Report. Yeah, so the last information that we had was from the 25th. Yeah, it looks like the Raptors have not released that information yet. So actually, let's ask another question. Hold on a second. So Kyle Lowry MRI results. Let's see what the MRI results were. This was 5 days ago. Let's see here. Still watching. No timetable. Lowry hasn't been. Okay, so Lowry hasn't been officially ruled out for game 1 of their best of 7 series. The pain he's feeling between now and Thursday night should ultimately, so now it's not Thursday night. When's this game? Sunday. This is a Sunday afternoon game. So it would hurt us a lot. Yeah, for sure. Lowry as always. Yeah, so I don't even see what the actual MRI results were. What's up, Dr. Dabber? Bucks are easy. 4-0. Celtics will win a game or 2. What up, Dad Infinite? Yeah, we could talk Heat too. Bucks will be the toughest in the East, hands down. I'm with you, Leroy. Yeah, I think that, like, I think people are sleeping on the Bucks right now because they've had some issues. You know what I mean? So the Bucks have had some issues. I think Boston will be Raptors' biggest challenge they face, mostly because of Lowry's ankle. Okay. So let me ask this, Cassell. So do you think that if Lowry gets healthy, let's say this, if the Raptors beat the Celtics, you think that the Raptors, they just wipe the floor with the Bucks? And are you saying that because you think Lowry will be healthy and they'll just clean him up? Yes. Hey, what up, Nobori? How's it going? No. Lowry is the emotional leader, but the Raps have played many times without him in the lineup this year. I'd say they almost have a tougher lineup with him on the bench. It don't matter. Raps win this series with their bench. Okay, so here's the thing. So I still think that the Raptors are a better team than the Celtics. What's up, Nobori? How's it going, man? Welcome. If Lowry is healthy, Raptors will lose. Wait, what? Yes, maybe not wipe the floor, but I think the Raptors take it in 6. Okay, so I said last week, I think it was before the Kyle Lowry injury. And so one of the things that we were talking about was that the Raptors are the hottest team in the NBA right now, or they were. And so they were just hot on fire, dude. And so I did feel like they could make it past the Bucks. I think I said that last week. I said there's a strong possibility that the Raptors could end up in the NBA Finals again, facing Kawhi Leonard. Right now, that's maybe more of a stretch today than it was before. But so the Raptors have, in my opinion, they have one of the deepest teams in the NBA. They play the best team basketball in the NBA. Outside of the Clippers, when the Clippers are playing their best basketball, okay? So there's a caveat to what I just said there, right? So obviously, when the Clippers are playing their best basketball, because the Clippers do have a really deep team. But the Raptors, they do it without a star, okay? So they do it without a star, which in the end could end up being what the tipping point is. It could be what the Achilles heel of the Raptors, but they do it by committee. I was talking to Brandon on Tuesday, and I told him, I said, the Raptors have the best coach in the NBA, and he just freaked out. I think right now this season, Nick Nurse is the best coach in the NBA. And I don't even know why that's like crazy to him, but it's crazy to me that he thinks it's crazy, right? Because I really do. There's a lot of great coaches in the NBA. I think the problem is that when I say something like that, what generally happens is if you have your favorite team and you really like the coach of your favorite team, you're like, but what about Spo? What about Spo? And what about Doc? No, Eric Spoelstra and Doc Rivers. There's a lot of really good coaches in the NBA, but Nick Nurse this season. So Nick Nurse might be the best coach in the NBA, period. Maybe, I don't know. That's actually hard for me to say. For me to objectively say that the best coach in the NBA over the last 2 or 3 seasons has been Nick Nurse, I don't know. That's maybe, so it's difficult, right? But what I will say is that this season, there's nobody that's done a better job coaching than Nick Nurse. He literally lost Kawhi Leonard. So he lost one of the best players in the NBA, okay? And he has led the Raptors to the number 2 seed, coaching wise. Obviously the players got to play, baby, right? But so he's led them to be the number 2 seed in the NBA. All right. They've beaten the Bucks throughout the season. They've beaten the best teams in the East. They've beaten some of the best teams on the West during the regular season. And the other thing is, if you actually, and this is what I told Brandon, I said, because this is all he does, right? He's just talking. I was like, if you sit your fat ass down, he's not fat, he's really skinny, but whatever. If you sit your ass down and you watch a game, and you see what Nick Nurse does schematically, right? What his scheme is, et cetera, et cetera. You see how this, so what he does is he has got some very good players on his team, right? They have good talent. But if you look at what the scheme is that they run, and against different opponents, they do different things. He really does. He's like their 6th man. He really is. Like, some people say, like, well, the coaches in the NFL are super important. In the NBA, not so much, right? But Nick Nurse is like your sixth man, bro. Like, he really is. So I guess going back to what Cassell said, the Raptors should beat the Celtics. I do not like their chances to beat the Bucks without Kyle Lowry. And I'm going to tell you why. You guys saying like, oh, well, you know, Lowry was out during the regular season and they played better without him and blah, blah, blah. Y'all are crazy. And I'm going to tell you why you're crazy. Because number one, this isn't the regular season. Forget about Drake. Get out of here, hot soup. So the reason why you're crazy is this is not the regular season where basically 50% of the season is like a joke where like players play half-ass. This is the playoffs, baby. This is the playoffs, and you got to play your best. You got to play your best here, and you need to have your guy. And here's the thing is that, do you want to know what Lowry gives you? Lowry gives you that dribble penetration, right? He's a great passer, and he's a skillful flopper, okay? Like, Lowry is probably one of the best floppers in the NBA. And so what do I mean by that? He creates contact. He's smaller, right? So the refs are gonna they're gonna gravitate towards giving him the call when a big guy makes contact with him, right? So he does get fouled. I'm not saying that he's faking it. This isn't soccer, because y'all know your soccer fans or you soccer players are crazy, where like literally somebody posted a picture in the Discord where a soccer player got flicked in the ear and dude went like this and fell down on the ground screaming like if he had the guy bit his ear. Okay, so Kyle Lowry gives you some things, which is he's a very good passer. Like I said, he's going to get great dribble penetration, and he draws contact. Ear flick hurt, okay? and he's gonna draw contact from bigger players, which means that he gets to the free throw line a lot. And so there's a couple reasons why this is important. Number one, you got to get to the stripe, okay? You got to get to the stripe. That's an important thing. You got to hit your free throws. He's a good free throw shooter. But not just that. When he's getting that penetration, what winds up happening is and drawing the foul is he's putting some of the best players on the opposing team in foul trouble, which does several things. I mean, obviously, the ultimate goal is to get a guy to foul out, right? So like when you make a guy like AD foul out or like Giannis foul out, that's a big deal. Or, you know, Brook Lopez, or, you know, whatever, whoever the player is, right? When you make that person foul out, that's a very big deal. But here's the other thing is that takes a while to achieve, right? Like, you've got to get a guy up to that point to get him to foul out. However, what happens when a guy has 3 fouls in the second quarter? They have to bench him, or he has to start playing passively, right? Because you can't afford to get that 4th foul, right? And so then dudes end up sitting for long periods of time because the coaches have their kind of like their scale, right? Where you have this many fouls by this time, I got to take you out of the game until this point. Otherwise, you may foul out, right? And so, so then when you go back in, you can't play aggressive, because if you play aggressive, then you potentially could end up at the ultimate goal, which is to get him to foul out. The other thing is, what ends up happening is defensively, you end up taking those players off of what the best defensive assignment is for them, because you can't risk him fouling out. So the defensive assignment, you're diminished defensively because of it for a bunch of different reasons. So 3 fouls, you're in the bleachers. So I am telling you that losing Kyle Lowry is very important. Like, you need him because of the intangibles that he gives you. And so I would tell you, what's up, Ash? How's it going? I see Raptors Bucks going 6 games with the Raptors winning. That is such a hard thing to say. I don't think anybody can really make that claim objectively. I don't think so. I think the Keemstar original joke counter's at 11 today. I know some of y'all are better at stats though. What's up? How's it going? The Lime. How you doing? Welcome to the channel. No, my name's Paul. I go by Covert GG on Twitch, Lime. I've been streaming on Twitch for 4 years. I've been partnered on Twitch for like 3. And I I stream 5 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, from 8:30 a.m. Eastern to 3:30 p.m. Eastern. And then I stream on Saturdays from 8:30 a.m. Eastern to 12:30 p.m. Eastern. The weekday content is typically video games, and the weekend content is sports. And so if you like video games and you like sports, then you're probably in a good spot. If that's the case, make sure that you hit follow on the channel, turn on the notifications, and make sure to be here every single day that we're live. So my days off are Sundays and Tuesdays, and Tuesdays we typically release some kind of a YouTube video. If you're new, this is our pick'ems board. And so essentially what we do here is we pick a bunch of games that are going to be done throughout the week. We put up the option for you to pick those games, and it's all done interactively on Twitch. So you do it right from chat. And if you win, if you get the most amount of games right, then you win a gift card. Okay. So the way this works is there's a corresponding letter right here next to each of the teams, right? So in this particular row, we have Canucks versus the Golden Knights. And so the Canucks are U and the Golden Knights are V. And so the way you're going to do this is you're going to type in !picks space and then all the letters for the corresponding team, or the corresponding letter to the team that you think is going to win. And you just do it all in one command. You do it all in one command and you submit it. And if you win, you get the gift card, baby. It also, if you didn't necessarily understand what I said and you want to see like a written explanation, if you type in !pick'em, which you can see over there on the other side of the board, it'll give you the command that tells you how you do it. Okay. And so, yeah. And if not, just you can ask one of the mods and they can help you out. What up, Godish? How's it going? Pretty good. No disrespect. I'm just teasing. No, not at all. The Lime. Yeah. I don't take it. I don't take it disrespectful at all. Like, I get a lot of Keemstar. Sometimes I get Ali G, and sometimes I get Dan Blazarian. The Dan Blazarian one I take as a compliment, but the others are, you know. But no, I outside, I think it's just the beard, but outside of the beard, I don't look like Keemstar at all. But anyway, welcome to the channel, and don't worry about it. I'm used to it. It's been going on for years. I don't like the team strategy to piss a particular player on the opposing team into fouling so they are removed. It's effective, but it's unsportsmanlike. Okay, so Doomsday. So here's the thing. So I think in soccer, if we're talking soccer, I think that's different, right? But in the NBA, right, you're trying to get dribble penetration, right? You're trying to penetrate the lane to draw contact. I don't think that's unsportsmanlike. Right? You are looking to draw contact. You're trying to get to the hole. So the defense the defender has to make a decision, right? In soccer, it's a little bit different, right? Because if a guy gets by you and you yank him down, it's a penalty shot, right? So, which is like a huge impact, right? Like that's a one-on-one. So that is a huge deal. Whereas you're playing 5-on-5 basketball, right? And a dude drives to the hole looking to get a layup, and he gets fouled, he gets a free throw, right? So he gets 2 free throws, right? So the scale is a little different. So like the punishment fits the crime kind of deal. You know what I mean? But what I was going to say was, that like the defender has the option. Like, so there are ways that like, so a defender can try to draw a charge instead. So that, and actually Lowry is actually one of the best at drawing fouls or drawing charges. Like, I mean, and it's crazy because he's not, I mean, he's bigger than I am, but he's not a big dude in terms of like NBA size, right? And so he sacrifices his body to draw the charge. And so what's up, Dale? How's it going? Barkley, the GOAT, how you doing? Joey and Chris Stakowski, how's it going? Yeah, I agree to that. So here's the thing. So I think that from a soccer perspective or Futbol, right? I think that a penalty, right, is way more severe, right? Like, so you can get hit with a red card, a yellow card and red card, and you're out, right? Whereas in basketball, you gotta get 5 fouls, right? And so you got way more chances, right? And when you commit a foul, you're talking about 2 free throws. You could miss them, and it's only 2 free throws. And so you're not doing something saying like, well, damn, I hope I draw a foul here. You are just playing the game, and in the act of playing the game, you know that if you penetrate the lane, there's a chance there may be a foul unless the defender plays it right. So play by the rules, and that won't happen. Lowry has quick feet. He takes charges because he gets the spot. Yup, for sure. Hey, I just created an account and I saw this. What is this? What's up? How's it going, Jury Glue? How you doing? Whoa! Chris Day, thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for the T1 sub. Welcome to the Scrub Nation. I love that. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, thank you, and Toke. What's up, man? Yeah, quick feet and insane anticipation. I missed what Doomsday said, but singling out a particular player play after play after play is not good. That dude knows he's going to spend the entire quarter with some dude flopping on him and talking him to get him to snap. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's possible, right? Like, you may try, like, so here's the thing, right? So, okay, so Doomsday, what Doomsday is saying is that he thinks that singling out a player on the opposing team to try to get that individual to commit penalties or fouls is unsportsmanlike. And so what I would say is, we're talking NBA right now, right? And so I kind of don't want to bring in other sports into this conversation. We're talking NBA. And so what I would say is, in terms of the NBA, right? Because I've seen some crazy stuff in soccer. Okay, soccer. Like, I would say my one knock on soccer is flopping. Okay, like, it's like really, really bad. Flopping in soccer is insane. I thought there was a couple years ago, actually several years ago, where the NBA flopping had become really bad, and then so flopping became a penalty. And so, which actually soccer probably should consider doing something like that. But I thought I had seen it all. And then I started watching soccer when we started this show, and you all started teaching me about soccer, and I was mind blown. I was like, wait, what? What is happening right now? Someone, what? Huh? And yeah, so soccer's out of this world with flopping. So I don't want to get into soccer on this, because that is a problem in of itself. That that is actually like a mankind problem. Like, the world may need to come together to solve the issue on the pitch, on the football pitch. Okay. Yes, I do think Westbrook coming back. I mean, that series I think is over anyway, Navathor. So, okay. So NBA wise, just to kind of talk about what Doomsday is saying. So you have 5-on-5, right? And you have the ability to score from different ranges. And obviously there's a set of rules. Now, the way the NBA structures this is that they have different defensive zones where you can try to draw a charge, right? And so as long as you position yourself properly as a defender and you get to the right spot, then they will call an offensive foul, okay? The other thing is that flopping is a penalty, is a foul in the NBA, right? So this is part of the checks and balances that exist in the NBA, okay? Now, a team, I would assume, especially because so much of professional sports today is analytics driven, what I would suspect is, if there is a guy on the opposing team that is prone to committing fouls and is prone to fouling out, right? Making defensive mistakes, then a team is going to try to exploit that. Just like if he blows his defensive assignment, or for example, if we look at another sport where there's a safety that like blows coverage all the time, right? So you are going to throw to his side because you know that he's prone to making these kinds of mistakes, right? So I mean, I can't speak to like what teams are doing, but I would just say that you're playing the game the way you're supposed to play it, which is your guard, in particular, your point guard, especially in today's NBA, has to create dribble penetration in order to be able to draw defenders to them, right? So that it opens up players on the wings, especially because the three-point play is so important in today's NBA. So in order to create those matchups, you have to penetrate the lane, you have to try to get into the interior of the defense, and you have to have a great passer that can kick it out to a really good shooter, okay? I mean, I'm just like trying to break it down the simplest terms that I can, right? And so that is really important. If in the process of you trying to do that, you get fouled, right? That's just within the rules of the game, and the defender has to make better decisions. You know what I mean? Took a couple hours, but you got there, Eddie. Has to play like Mario Chalmers. Shut up. Mario Chalmers was a bum. If the Miami Heat would have had Kyle Lowry on that team, or if they would have had at the time Derrick Rose, the Heat may have never lost one of those championships. They might have won all of them. NBA needs advantage like football. Speed the game up, give the foul after the bucket, and play on. Chris Paul. Well, Chris Paul and Derrick Rose kind of have a similar problem. Since they're smaller dudes, they get hurt a lot, right? They get hurt a lot. Chris Paul, like, so Brandon was saying that Chris Paul is one of the greatest point guards in the history of the NBA. He is a very good point guard, right? But he's super fragile, right? Like he's had opportunities to win, and he's actually been on some really great teams, but he gets hurt a lot, you know? Anyway, so the Raptors thing is, I still think the Raptors have a chance to get to the finals. I don't think they get to the finals without Lowry. I think Lowry is such an important piece to them. Okay. Really quick, we have 75 people that have entered into the pick'ems. Okay. 75 people. Our record is 175. I would take it as a personal affront if we can't get to 100. So what I'm going to stop everything I'm doing right now to look you in the eye and to ask you for 3 things. Okay? And I may never ask you for anything ever again. Maybe not. But for now, I'm going to ask you for 3 things. I'm going to ask you if you've had a good time here and you enjoy the content and you think you want to hang out here in the future. Hit the follow button. Don't be lazy, please. All right. We work really hard to put all this content together. We would appreciate that you follow the channel. Okay. Come hang out with us in the future, right? The stream is 5 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays. All right. And jump into the pick'ems. Jump into the pick'ems. Carry us. Elevate us into the triple digits. Let's get 100 people in there for the pick'ems. It's not a big deal. Even if you don't know the sport, you can pick random if you want. If you win, you get a $10 gift card, right? So you got a gift card. That's great. You know what I mean? Like, no problem. You know what I'm saying? So jump in there. Jump in there. If you don't know how to do it, type in !pick'em like Joke just did. That'll give you the instructions and you'll be good to go. Okay. And if not, if you need me to explain it, I can explain it to you as well. All right. Is this like no raids before 10:30 during the week? Thank you for all the follows, guys. I'm actually, just to go through it, I'm going to thank all of you. Thank you very much. Zing Zane, T Monster, Stormy Bear, Ostid, Grossboa, Kentucky, Bevy Bantana, Crank Daddy. Is it Crank Daddy or Crunk Daddy? Dr. J, S. Cassell. Thank you, Cassell. Thank you, Cassell. Joke 1010, Joey's, Soccer Beast, Metro Dweller, Trevor, Clipzilla, I like that. Guju Man, Glaber Day 91, Jid the Goat, Morelius. I thought you were following us last week. Am I wrong about that? Bow ties are cool. Easy E, thank you all for the follows. Really appreciate all the follows. Y'all are the lifeblood of this channel. We obviously put the work in every single week, and you know, this show, aside from just the general broadcast, we do try to do things during the weekday that are a little different than what you see on some other Twitch broadcasts. But in particular for the sports show, a ton of work really goes into this show. And so obviously we have to do all that work in order to be able to put this in front of you. But without you all, we can't continue. We can't move forward. We can't push forward, right? We can't get to where we need to get in order to be able to make this happen on a long-term scale. So thank you for the follows. I know that typically on Twitch, like, people don't really pay attention to that stuff, but it's very important to me. Thank you very, very much. Your viewership it means the world to my family and to our family here in the channel. We've got a really strong community. Everybody here pulls together to try to make this channel a success in a bunch of different ways. And so you doing this means a lot to all of us. So thank you very much. All right, so the Morris twins. So if you don't know, so there's two players in the NBA. They're twins. They're known as the Morris twins. And so one of them plays for the Los Angeles Clippers. And so the Mavericks have actually been playing quite well against the Los Angeles Clippers, despite the fact that the Dallas Mavericks were a lower seed, and the Clippers, for a lot of people, were favorites to go to the NBA Finals. And so there's been like a little bit of a kerfuffle, if you will, between certain players on these two teams. And which one is on the Clippers again? I'm not sure. Is it Marcus Morris? I think it's Marcus Morris. And so anyway, so Luka Doncic tore them up. I mean, just tore them up in one of the previous games, and winds up hitting a buzzer beater, which is the game from last week, right? And so he's been a little hobbled. And it ends up in their last game, Marcus Morris runs over to Luka Doncic and steps on his ankle and hurts him. And so Marcus Morris has a little bit of a checkered past, in that, like, he's been known, he's like kind of an enforcer. It's hard for me to say that anybody in the NBA is an enforcer these days, having grown up with basketball in the 80s and the early 90s. Like, so when I think of an enforcer, I think about a guy that literally is punching you in the face. So in this era's kind of enforcer style, right, Marcus Morris is kind of like that guy. And so there's been a little bit of back and forth and jawing going on between the Dallas Mavericks and the Los Angeles Clippers. And so here comes Marcus Morris. He says, oh, Ron Artest, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Like, so when we think enforcers from the 90s, we literally have NBA players in the stands beating up fans. Okay. No, obviously that only happened one time, but anyway. So Marcus Morris comes out and says that, like, he plays the game the right way. Obviously, we've seen in the past that he hasn't. And so it begs the question, was this intentional? And so nobody's going to know the answer to that other than Marcus Morris, right? Because nobody knows what's in his heart. Charles Oakley's another one, yeah. And so I put here Morris dirty question mark, because I wanted to ask you what you all think. Obviously, this is subjective. It's opinion based. We don't know. But what do you guys think? 15 more until 100 people in picks. 85. Nice. We're getting closer. What's up, Outrage? Goof off. We can talk about that next if you want. I was going to talk about Paul George's struggles, but we can talk about that. I think it was a dirty play. You think so, Cameron? Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. It was obviously an accident. So I don't know. I watched the replay a couple times and I thought to myself, I don't know. Like, it looks like it might have just been accidental. What's up, Barkley? Like, it might have just been accidental. And like, I don't know. I don't want to like jump on the thing, right? Like, I think if you see this thing happen habitually, I think he has a little bit of a checkered past, but I haven't, like, hitting a guy in the head with the basketball is different than you running at a guy and trying to like kick him in the ankle, basically, right? Because you know that his ankle hurts. And I think that there might be a little bit of overreaction because Luka Doncic is playing so well. He's an emerging star in the NBA. And so, like, people's kind of knee-jerk reaction is the NBA needs to protect him. They should do something. It didn't look like a natural step. Plus, he lost his shoe. Yeah, right. Like, so, okay, so that was kind of the thing. So, like, you're right. It didn't look like a natural step, but then he stumbled and kind of fell. And so that, for me, I was like, well, like, it could just be that he was charging in and like, because like, why does he stumble and almost fall? I guess he could be acting, but at the same time, like, if you're running over to step on a guy, you're not going to fall because you're going to brace yourself for the impact. You know what you're doing. So that was the thing. So I watched it a bunch of times and I was like, it's kind of a toss up for me. Looks accidental, but with his history of dirty plays, it does not help. Yeah, I'm with you, Xenon. Yeah, that's kind of my position. What got you into basketball? I got into because of the 89-90 Pistons. Didn't see them play at the time, but watching an old documentary on them. What got me into basketball? I think so the sports that I played the most were basketball and football. Football being like the main one. So I played a ton of football. But growing up in the era that I grew up in, I was always on the street. And so we were always out, you know, like basically our parents didn't know where the hell we were, right? Like you would just leave and that was that, you know, they had no idea where you went. And so I played a lot of street basketball. And at that time, tackle in the grass. Oh yeah, for sure, Link. And so I used to, there was a park that was not necessarily close to my house, but it wasn't far. And so I would either walk there or ride bike. And then, so I played a lot of basketball, in particular in the summertime. And so I played a lot of basketball. And in addition to that, it was around the time of like Michael Jordan, John Stockton, Karl Malone, Larry Bird. They were, you know, it was a time where like basketball was kind of emerging, if you will. Magic Johnson, you know, so basketball was really physical back then. And so the NFL football was my favorite sport because I like to hit people. And so that was my favorite. And basketball at the time was kind of a mix of that, where you were allowed to hit people, right? So like, to give you an idea, as I got a little older and I got a little bit taller, I'm not super tall, I'm 5'11", but I was always like a big dude. And so I played center a lot. And so you think like, well, why is this dude playing center? And it was because I played super physical, right? So I was going to body you. If you were going to try to get in on me, I was going to body you. I was going to elbow you. I had my elbows like etched into part of your spine, you know? And so I was just like really, really physical. And so the NBA back then appealed to me just like street basketball did, which was like, you know, just me beating on you. And so I think that was what I enjoyed the most. I think today what I enjoy about the NBA is different, right? Because obviously you can't play that kind of physical style anymore. I respect and appreciate kind of the physical excellence that you see on display in the NBA. And like, you know, a lot of people say that the best athletes in the world play basketball, right? They play professional basketball. And so I do kind of marvel at that athleticism, you know, being able to see that. And so, and I think it's an exciting game, right? You know, like there's a lot of back and forth and there's a lot of strategy that goes on. And so it's a fun game to watch still today. So I like it today for different reasons than I enjoyed basketball back in the day. I'm from Boston. Len was going to be our Jordan, hopefully. Remember the NBA Superstars VHS from 1989? That's what made me fall in love with the NBA. I haven't seen that, Dallas fan. At least not that I recall anyway. How good would the Celtics have been with Lenny Bias? I don't know. I actually don't know who Lenny Bias is. Always played on the Skins team when it was shirts versus skins. Yum. That's a big what if story. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not familiar with him. At least not that I'm like right now off, like just off the jump. Still at 85. It's been 10 minutes. Chat, get those pick'ems in. So anyway, so yeah, so the next thing I have on here, and again, you guys can hit me with whatever and we'll just talk about it, but PG struggles. So Paul George in the Clippers versus Mavs series. So we were getting into a discussion in the Discord, which again, by the way, if you're not already part of the Discord and you're interested in joining either for a UFC watch party, which we do in Discord, or if you just want to talk shop in terms of sports with us in Discord, type in ! Discord, you'll get a link, you can join it, and whatever, we can talk in there. But anyway, so we were in the Discord, and so Captain Cope he's crazy and he thinks that the Dallas Mavericks are still going to win the series against the Clippers. I disagreed with him before, and I disagree with him even more now, because Luka Doncic is actually very hurt and Kristaps Porzingis is out for the series. Okay, so he's not going to be coming back, and so Paul George was really struggling, right? Like really struggling. I think he was shooting like 28% from the field, and he was having some woes. Now, I don't consider Paul George a superstar. Not yet, anyway. And you might say, like, not yet. Dude's been in the league forever, right? Yeah, he has been. But I feel like he's never proven to me that he was a superstar ever in his career. And so I think he's an all-star, right? Over and over again. He's definitely an all-star, but he hasn't proven to be a superstar in the NBA. And the reason why I feel that way is because in the playoffs, Paul George has come up small several times. And what we were seeing in this series was that Paul George was kind of disappearing, right? He wasn't stepping up. Anyway, so I put this in here because I actually don't think that the Clippers will advance in these playoffs if Paul George does not step up. Now, granted, some people will point to the fact that Patrick Beverley has been out for, like, well, you know, they haven't had Pat Bev and this and that and whatever. And that's true, but you need your second fiddle to come up. He's got to perform. Like, he's got to be reliable. And Paul George has not been reliable. As a result, anyway, so in their last matchup, Paul George came up huge. He played like super good. And actually I have the stats here. Hold on one second. Let me get these up for you. Let me get it up for you, okay? So in actually, hold on a second. Darn, I thought I had it. Man, that sucks. I thought I had it up here for you guys. Okay, so no, I don't have it for you, man. That sucks. I'm sorry. That's okay though. I can get it for you. No problem. No crying. No sense crying over spilled milk here. Sorry, I had this all prepared for you in the event that we got to this. Okay. All right, here we go. This will be better, I think. All right, so in their last game, which was on Tuesday, Paul George was 12 of 18. He played 25 minutes. He was 12 of 18, and he shot 66.7% from the field. Here's the problem. We're going to come back to this, okay? But he shot 66.7% from the field. He shot 50% from three-point, and he was 7 for 7 on free throws, all right? He scored 35 points. And, I mean, his rebounding wasn't really there, but, you know, whatever. He played really good defense in that game. Here's the problem that I see with this. He actually really outdid himself in that he that's not sustainable. That is just not sustainable. He's not going to shoot 66% from the field, right? And he's probably not going to shoot 50% from three-point either nonstop. So I don't know that you can necessarily count on this for the rest of the playoffs, but he has to play at a higher level than what he has been doing up until this point. And so if not, I think the Clippers are in real trouble. I think the Clippers are in a lot of trouble. Link, being that Covert is a Paul, that's how we determine Pauls always come up short. Blamed his issues on anxiety and depression. Right. So then he came out this week after that game, and he said, I was having some issues, right? Like the bubble was getting to me, and like he was like kind of disjointed, if you will. And so he said that he feels better now. However, you also have to take into consideration that now they've had a lapse here. Obviously, we've had another social issue. And so, like, who knows where his headspace is going to be now. And so it is a big problem. Hey, real quick, before we go on, don't forget that later today, we're going to have our battle trivia. You guys do not want to miss out on that, so you don't want to go anywhere, okay? You do not want to go anywhere. That battle trivia is a lot of fun. It's actually one of the highlights of the stream. So make sure that you don't move anywhere. But basically what it is we have like a game show that we put on, and it's all sports related questions. You answer the questions in the time allotted. And then what happens is everyone in chat can actually attack you. So you can attack each other, similar to kind of like how the people used to have those bit battles or whatever, but it's all free, right? And so anyway, so you don't want to go anywhere. That's a lot of fun. So I wanted to make sure to throw that out there. I did not mention it as much as I should have earlier. So so this is a long show, and you know, so just pace ourselves out. Damian Lillard. Oh, so if you want, we can actually talk about, I think I have. So I put here Lakers defense. So if you want to talk Portland Lakers, so if you watched the last game, who was it? Was it Outrage? Yeah. So if you watched the last game, Outrage, number one, the Lakers played great defense. Okay. But I feel like Nurkic gave up on the team. Now, the only thing I would say in his defense is that Nurkic was obviously injured during the season, and he just recently came back. So there is a possibility that he just is not in good NBA shape. That's like a strong possibility. But he only played 30 minutes in this game. And instead of going for like bringing it up, like putting it up aggressively, going in for like an aggressive dunk, he was going in for like little floater layups and missing them or getting blocked because of it. And so here's the thing. So in that fourth quarter, Nurkic missed like 7 shots, okay? Gave up some rebounds. So what ends up happening down the stretch is that Damian Lillard ends up jacking up shots that he shouldn't have been taking, right? Which I kind of don't put on him, Outrage, because it seems like, at least from what I was, you know, my perception of the situation was that Damian Lillard was trying to do too much because his teammates were letting him down. CJ McCollum had a terrible game. CJ McCollum continues to show that he cannot be counted on in the biggest moments, all right? And Nurkic, which they needed Nurkic to kind of give them those easy buckets, and he didn't do it. So then Damian Lillard comes up the court and is trying to shoot almost from the logo, trying to make something happen because the Lakers defense was so stout. So we were talking Lakers last week, and I was saying that I wasn't sure if the Lakers were really about it and how the Lakers needed to step up. Well, what winds up happening is Anthony Davis plays exactly how I said he needed to play. I said he has to show us that he's actually a superstar. And so he winds up playing like a superstar on both ends of the court. He winds up getting a bunch of blocks, ends up putting the ball in the basket a ton. He plays very efficiently. And then in general, so Danny Green's still not giving you what you need to get from Danny Green. But defensively, Danny Green played really, really well. And that is part of what you need from Danny Green. So basically, you need Danny Green to be an effective three-point shooter and to be a ball hawk on defense. And he did give you the defensive part, but his shooting is just not where it needs to be. And I think the Lakers really do need that third piece. They need LeBron to be LeBron. LeBron played out of his mind. They need Anthony Davis to play like a superstar. And then they need a third piece to kind of like to spell them and to give them that outside shooting. You say Kuzma, and we have talked about Kuzma here at length actually over the last couple weeks. I think it can be by committee. That third guy can be a different guy every night. So it could be Kyle Kuzma one night. Hopefully Danny Green, because I like Danny Green. But Danny Green. And it could be KCP too, right? Like KCP has had some big games here. So interesting enough, he wasn't playing before. Interesting enough, he wasn't getting any of the minutes, but he came up big. I think if I can pull up, do I have those queued up already? Hold on. No, I don't have those stats queued up, but we can look at it. All right. So let's see here. So KCP. That sucks. All right, so here it is. It was August 24th was the game. And let's go in here and let's look at our box score. So KCP, so in the last game, KCP was a plus 22. He had 12 points. He was 50% from the 3-point line, and he was 5 for 8 from the field, right? So he was reliable. There. If we look at, hold on. If we look at the game prior to that, right? And we look at KCP, he gave them 13. He was about 40% from 3-point. And actually, he had a bad shooting night. Yeah, he had a bad shooting night, but he got to the line. So, again, KCP hasn't been necessarily consistent. But what you hope here is that you get a third guy in here that can be reliable for you. I don't know. I think the Lakers need that. As much as you guys are talking about the Raptors, why doesn't the name Van Vliet ever come up? I'm sure he's a big part of the team as well. Greg Lee, I talk about Van Vliet all the time. Yeah. I mean, we didn't talk about Van Vliet today, but the reason why is I didn't talk about anybody else other than Kyle Lowry. And the reason why I didn't talk about anybody else is because people were saying that that the Raptors were going to do it without Kyle Lowry. And I was trying to highlight how important he is to that team. Van Vliet is a great shooter, but I think that and here's the thing, Greg, this is what I would tell you is that when it comes to the Raptors, more than any other team, it's not about one guy, right? The Raptors are One night it's going to be Van Vliet that's going to light you up. The next night Kyle Lowry's going to go crazy. The next night Siakam's going to blow you up, right? Gasol's going to have a good night, right? So like it's kind of, and I don't know if it's a schematic thing or whatever, but the Raptors, even in the finals run last year, it was somebody different every night. Like it really was. Like go back and watch those games, okay? And it was somebody different pretty much every night. Now, you had a superstar in Kawhi Leonard, and that's the piece that's missing this year. And so I don't know what that ends up doing to the Raptors. Because honestly, I think if the Raptors would have faced the Golden State Warriors at full strength, the Raptors wouldn't have won that championship, in my opinion. B-Mose, what's up, man? Welcome to the channel. Yep, jump in there, baby. We have 87 people in the pick'ems. Let's get to 100, baby. Come on now. Let's get to 100. It's not a big deal that the Lakers lost Rondo. I mean, Rondo's not a good shooter, and I feel like what the Lakers lack right now is shooting. Their defense looks really good. Like, after watching them play this last week, I felt like the Lakers defense, like, they really are taking pride in their defense. And that's something that we talked about last week, too, which was, hey, a really cool hat. How you doing? That was something that we spoke about. Yeah, JaVale McGee. Shut up, Cameron. That was something that we spoke about last week, is that the Lakers head coach is known for defense, right? Like when he was with Indiana, his thing is defense. And so you know, you expect that the Lakers will play really good defense. Now, whether or not that ends up happening or not is, you know, it can be a different question. That said, I would say that in the last two outings, they played very good defense. Rajon Rondo is a serious dime passer and has great chemistry with AD back in the Pelicans day. Yep, he's a good passer. You're right. But LeBron James, pretty much on any team that he plays, is like your point forward, right? And he likes to have the ball in his hands to dictate the flow of the game. Now, Rondo coming in off the bench, yeah, like it would be nice to have it. But I don't think that not having Rondo means that the Lakers don't have a shot to win it, you know? Like, I don't see Rondo like Lowry, right? Like, I think like Lowry is such an important piece to the Raptors. Are you a Cards fan, or do you just wear, I just wear different teams gear? Like, this is actually a Cards shirt. So this shirt says they hate us because they ain't us. And it's a Cardinal shirt. So I try to wear something different every week if I can. BMOs, yeah. I agree. I don't think Rondo affects that matchup much. He's great for the second team. Yep, he's good for the second team. I wouldn't say great. He's good for the second team. Yeah, I mean, Rondo, I mean, like, I don't want to overstate Rondo's impact on the NBA right now. Like, he's not as effective as he used to be. He was never a good shooter. So when he would try to create that dribble penetration that we were talking about with Lowry earlier today, a lot of times he misses those shots. Leadership, you know, the problem with that is Rondo has had a lot of issues with players on his team and other teams. And so I don't know that Rondo is, like, for me, I don't know that Rondo is like a quality leader. Now obviously I've never been around him, so like I'm speaking as somebody kind of just like a third party, you know what I mean? He definitely has pedigree. Yeah, definitely has pedigree. I just don't want to overstate. I don't want to exaggerate his impact. You know what I mean? I think him not being there I don't think it's that big of a deal. I mean, could he help? Yeah. I mean, the Lakers need help with their bench. You know, actually, like, the bigger deal is them losing Avery Bradley. I think so. And Avery Bradley has not accomplished more than Rajon Rondo, but Avery Bradley is a more relevant player now, and his defense was really important. So them losing Avery Bradley to me is actually a bigger deal than Rondo. So, like, I don't know. Like, I just giving Rondo too many minutes here is like, I don't know. Doesn't seem like whatever to me, you know? There's a reason why he has not stayed on the same team Yeah, Avery, right. Avery Bradley was huge. Yeah, that's where I'm at with that. How about you, BMOs? Are you a Cardinals fan? How you feeling about the 10 Titans this upcoming season? Yet to say, are they a sleeper again? Oh, the Tennessee Titans. Hey, if you're out there and you're new here and you have a favorite team, let us know what your favorite team is. All right. Dallas prospects. Is there anything else on here? Dame is out. And I know he's not out, but I think he's out. Like, I think the Portland Trailblazers are done. Pacers fire their coach. Brett Brown. You know, something that I've been wanting to talk about for a couple weeks, man. Have you guys noticed that in the NBA bubble, the court's been like really slippery? Like, guys keep falling. And I was actually wondering about that. Like, is there like is it just that like NBA basketball courts are better than what they have in the bubble? Like, but why are people falling? Or is it just that they're not doing a good job of cleaning up? Because the NBA is going to commercial break like more than I've ever seen them. But guys keep falling. So what the hell's going on? Well, how humid it is in Florida lately. Yeah, that's true. But they're playing indoor basketball. So that shouldn't be that. Well, I don't know. I haven't been there, so I don't know what the situation is. But they're playing air-conditioned basketball. You know what I mean? I don't know. I was wondering because like I haven't seen anybody talk about that, and I keep seeing people fall down. So, and then you see the guys, you see the kids come in with their brooms or whatever, those like little squeegee brooms, and then they clean up the floor. And I was kind of like, man, like what's going on? Because it's been going on since like they started the thing. Maybe they need to switch to cleats. I think that would probably be a disaster, Dallas. What's up, Yo Fonz? How's it going? Steak Sauce. What's up, guys? Man, we are one away from 90. We are one away from 90 people going into the pick'ems, and we're 11 away and 11 away from getting to 100. Morris probably asked for cleats. Oh, there goes Cope. Cope is so butthurt. So butthurt. I have no clue, but could it be a new sanitizer additive due to COVID? I mean, I guess maybe if they had it on their hands and I don't know. I'm weighing the first. Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm weighing the first half of the season more than the last half because I'm not sure what is going to happen because of COVID. That defense going to continue to roll though for Tennessee. Chat, get your alt account in. All right, what's our next sport? What's our next sport, guys? What do we have next? I feel like your energy's dying, guys. I need your energy. You got like to keep me going, baby. What about my boy JaVale McGee? You're such a troll. All right, NFL. All right, so what do you guys want to talk NFL? In the meantime, I've got like a couple headliners. So Travis Kelce gets a big deal. This happened a couple weeks ago, but I wanted to highlight it anyway. So he winds up signing a 4-year, $57 million deal. So his average salary is going to be $14 million, and he'll be a free agent in 2026. This looks like it's another team-friendly deal from what we can see here. And if we look at the salary cap situation for the Kansas City Chiefs, it actually is pretty remarkable what they've been able to do, right? And I think it all starts with Mahomes, right? So Mahomes getting on his deal is a big deal, right? Like, so like the fact that he gave them a team favorable deal is really important. And if you look at where they're currently at, right? So currently, just to make sure here, yeah, so their current cap hit is $215,631,073, right? So that's their current cap hit. Now that if we look at Let's see here. So I'm sorry. Okay. So, right. So their adjusted salary cap is actually 220 million. Okay. Well, almost 221 million. And the NFL salary cap is, sorry, wait, rewind that. I'm sorry. So the 2020 salary cap for the NFL 2021 is going to be 220. Oh, just call it 221 million, right? And the Kansas City Chiefs currently are at 211 million. Okay. So they only have about 9 mil left over, but it seems like they have everything in place and they have all their skill positions set like long term. It's actually kind of a big deal. You know what I mean? Cam Newton's questionable clothing choices. We can talk that, yeah. Chat, get your alt accounts to pick. No, don't do that. No, don't do that. Don't do that. I like the deal. He is a game changer. Chiefs smart to get these players now. Yep. I'm not sure if you saw my response, but I'm a Cardinals fan. And okay, BMOs. Yeah, I missed that. Yes, I missed that. What's up, Charlie? Good morning, bud. So dumb. Oh, Charlie. I hope you win one day, Charlie, like that. Yeah, so I do think that the Chiefs approach, like, so when you think about the Dallas Cowboys and the Kansas City Chiefs, right? And you see how the Kansas City Chiefs have tried to get out ahead of their contractual issues with their star players. And then you look at how Dallas has handled that situation. You see how the two teams have handled it, or how at least one team has mismanaged that situation, right? So, like, I really do think that the Chiefs are doing a very good job. A very, very good job. And they have arguably one of the best, if not the best quarterback in the NFL currently. They have one of the best tight ends, like, you know, I'd say top 3 tight ends in the NFL currently. They have one of the best wide receivers right now. And they have some nice defensive pieces. I think their safety, I forgot his name. He's considered like a top 5 safety, if not a top 3 safety in the NFL. So the Chiefs have really tied up some solid talent. And I think that if just for a second, if we think about the NBA and we think about what the Boston Celtics did to Isaiah Thomas versus how the Chiefs are handling their situation, right? And so what winds up happening to the Celtics is, you know, like there's like a little bit of bad blood there when you think about player relations. And yes, thank you, Rip. That's right. And so when you think about like just player relations in general and trying to create like an actual positive team atmosphere and like the goodwill that it takes to be able to get an elite quarterback like Patrick Mahomes to take a team favorable deal so that you can continue to build around him, right? Like that's a big deal, right? Like that is actually quite impressive. And so the Chiefs are doing big things, man. Like they really are. And the Chiefs could be dangerous for years to come. The only thing that I think gets in their way right now is this whole coronavirus thing. Like I think that's the big wild card right now, because we don't know how the coronavirus situation is going to impact the NFL. It doesn't seem like the NFL has taken all the precautions we know. Okay, wait, take a step back. So we know that the NFL has not taken the precautions that the NBA has taken, or the NHL. And so we just don't know what that looks like. We know that what the NBA and the NHL have done up to this point works, because it has worked. It's been perfect, right? They've been flawless. But how does it work for the NFL? We don't know that yet. And so it remains to be seen. It remains to be seen. The NFL itself doesn't seem to be doing much. Some teams are trying though. Yep. Yeah. So I don't know. You know what? I guess what happens if the NFL just continues to take this approach and they don't skip a beat. Like I was talking to Scoobs in Discord during our last UFC watch party. What's up, Ladies? How's it going? The Lamo bot. What's up, man? How you doing? So I was talking to Scoobs during the last UFC event, and now Scoobs was kind of sounding like he's emotionally invested in the NFL. I think he even said that. I think he said like, dude, I have to have the NFL, you know? But like one of the things he was saying, he's like, they're going to be fine. They're no problem. And I was like, really? You think so? But like, what happens if that's actually the case? And like, what happens if the Scooby emotional? No. Silent Reveries won last week. So we need to hit him up actually. So, but I think from a societal standpoint, if the NFL kind of comes back with this like laissez-faire approach and you don't have any issues, and some of the teams allow fans and you don't have any issues, I mean, I would assume that's going to send shockwaves through our society, because people are going to be like, wait a second, they can play football and have fans and nothing happens? I don't know. Yeah, he had perfect picks, ladies. Never been done before. He got all the games right. That's never happened here before. Yeah, it was actually quite impressive. Yeah, I know. He got all 11 right. I was very impressed. Yeah, never been done before. You know what we should do is have like a kicker. If you get them all right and you're the winner, you get like double. I know, right? Yeah, ladies, I'm with you. Right? He should get bonus money, but we didn't do it, so I'm not gonna give it to him. But that actually would be an interesting thing, right? That would be kind of interesting. You get a perfect score, so you get double. Whoa, Covert, do it. Listen, man, I'm tight on money, bro. Spin the wheel if perfect score. Oh gosh. NASCAR had All-Star Week with limited fans, and I don't believe a surge of cases came from it. Yeah, I think you have to have a more sustained kind of petri dish, if you know what I mean. Steak sauce. No NFL fans, and every game seems different. We shall see. Well, I think the Cowboys are thinking about having fans, so that was one of the things that I wanted to talk about. I know I had it on my list last week, but I don't have it here today. But one of the things was that apparently in Dallas, there's been some like racing events, and they've had fans, like 20,000 people in the stands. And so they're already doing that in Texas. And so I think that there is a possibility that unless the NFL outlaws it, like they make it against the rules, I think there's a possibility that the Dallas Cowboys may try to put fans in the seat. I will continue to shame teams that have fans in my head. Wait, what? They'll have as many fans as ever. 19. Oh, the Dolphins. Oh, wheel spin for the perfect. Make cover the luchador for the whole sports stream. That'd be funny, yeah. So, I don't know, man. Like, so I think you might see teams like the Dallas Cowboys have... Hey, Stormy, what's up, man? Thank you, Stormy. Guys, we are literally 8 people away. Do we not have 8 people out there that are looking to get their picks in? 8 people. 8 people. Do we not have 8 people? Listen, if you lurk, we got tons of respect for you. We just need an assist. We just need a little assist. I'll hit the shot, baby. I'll hit the shot for the team. I just need an assist. Whoop. Just need a little whoop. You know what I mean? Just get me the ball, coach. Just get me the ball. So we just need 8 people to put in their picks. Newly announced rule, the perfect kicker. Literally type !picks and some letters for a chance to win $10. Oh man. Anyway, so Kelsey winds up signing the deal. Alex Smith is back. So he had a horrific leg injury that went from like, well, he could lose his leg, oh, he could die, to now he's back. He's actually like practicing. And so, shout out to that dude, man. Yeah, much respect to Alex Smith on that. Also, for the Washington Redskins, just coincidentally, they hired Jason Wright. He was an NFL running back He's also an African American, so Washington hired him to be the president of football operations for them. So that was big news. And then Earl Thomas was released by the Ravens. So he was released by the Ravens, and he has been a little bit of I don't know. He's been in trouble. He's been in trouble a couple times now. So before he left, what's up, Battle? How's it going, man? So before he left the Seattle Seahawks, there was a lot of turmoil there with him. He was very vocal about his situation. And at the time, I thought to myself, like, this guy, like, I think Seattle might be doing wrong by some of their players. And then, so, I kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt. Then he leaves, and it just seems like he continues to make waves, if you will, and it's been kind of a negative situation, to say the least. Kind of just circling around him. Recently, he was involved, I think in the last like 6 months or so, he was involved in an altercation involving a firearm. And so whatever. Bottom line is, he wound up getting into a fight with a teammate or teammates, and the Baltimore Ravens cut him. What's weird about this is that apparently fights in practice happen in the NFL, right? I mean, we've heard of it in the past, but it's weird that you cut a guy for that. And so the speculation is that there was more to it than just that. Is that like something else? Like maybe this was like the cup dunneth runneth over. Solid troll gear this morning. What's up, Wisconsin Wookie? How you doing, man? Little Snyder won't make it as a team owner by the end of the season. You think so? Big L for the Ravens D, no doubt. Well, I mean, he's still a very good football player. There was a little bit of a debate in Discord about whether or not he was still a top 10 safety. And so it still seems like he is. He's still a top 10 safety. The Ravens obviously made a great run in the playoffs last season. Made it to the playoffs and had a chance to make a run, and they had a great regular season. They had literally the MVP on their team, and so this is probably a setback. But the NFL, more than any other league, is a league of like who's up next, right? And so if they released them, they must have had a good reason, I'm assuming. So 20 plus females came forward about his conduct. Really? Do you have a link for that, Plano? I didn't know that. Greg Lee, thank you so much for entering in your pick'ems. Appreciate that. Wisconsin, did you get your picks in already? Thank you, Battle. Appreciate that, man. Can we get an announcement in the Discord that we're short 6 picks to get to 100? City Sushi Coochie, thank you so much. Just got here. All right, cool. All right, so once we get Wisconsin Wookie in there, we're going to be 4 people short. Oh my gosh, you know how sad it's going to be if we end up being short by 4 people? Anyway, so thank you again, City Sushi Coochie. So do you like sushi? Anyway, so that is that. Did we already do a vote on the next topic? Did we already do another vote on the next topic, Silent? If not, I was just going to go with soccer because I had some questions about soccer for the folks that are still here that can help us out with that. Oh, it was UFC. Okay. All right, we'll do it quick. Don't put another vote up because I'm going to jump to soccer after this because I got some questions. Why do you hate free money? Yes, I like sushi and coochie. Ooh, man, you and me, we're like famo. You know what I mean? We can do this. What's your favorite sushi? Like, which is your favorite sushi? I'm going to tell you the one that I like the most. I'm trying to think what it's called. Hold on. Oh. Damn it. Oh, I'm not going to be able to tell you. Because I don't remember it. It's got a weird name, but I can describe it. I'm so hungry right now. You have no idea. So, okay, there's a place out here where I live, Sushi Coochie, which is called Shibui's. And Shibui's they have a sushi roll. Oh my gosh. Okay. So what they do is it's all the rolls, right? And the rolls I think are like salmon, cream cheese, and something else in the roll, right? Then they put, I think it's like crab meat over the top of it with this like mayo and something other sauce, and it looks like a lava. I think the roll might be called like lava something. So it looks like a volcano. Oh, it's a volcano roll. Yes, I just remembered. It's called the volcano roll. Oh my gosh, bro. Oh no, it's whitefish. Oh, my mouth is watering. It is so good, Sushi Coochie. You have no idea. It is so good, dude. So we're going when I get down there, right? What's up, Burns? How's it going? I don't know, man. I don't know if we can go to restaurants, you know? He's slobbering on himself now. Well done. Good association with lava and volcano there. Hey, guys, we need 3 more people to enter the pick'ems. 3 more people. Don't forget that time is going to run out because the pick'ems does close and then you won't be able to get your picks in. So you got to do it soon. All right. I think I have to make a couple picks too, right? Like I'm still short on my picks. All right. UFC. You've got a UFC event tonight. I don't have a lot on UFC for you guys other than I'm looking forward to like the next big event for UFC. And so, I mean, tonight, like we're going to see Magny again. I'm interested to see how he does against Lawler. I don't know. You guys are making me reconsider my pick. I'm going to change to Lawler. I don't know. This might be a mistake. I'm going to go Raptors. And what was the other game that I was undecided on? You guys are going Canucks. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to go Vegas. I'm going to go Vegas here. So did I get all my picks? So I went Bruins, Bucks, Rockets, Lakers. I'm going Lawler. I'm going Anthony Smith. I'm going Raptors, Clippers. Still super torn on the Jazz. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go Dallas Stars. How's that series right now? Hold on. How is that series right now? NHL. So if we look, the Dallas Stars and Colorado, that series is currently 2-1. Man, I'm going to go Avalanche. I'm going to go Avalanche. The Avalanche are not going to allow themselves to go down 3-1 because then they know they're dead. So they're not going to allow it to happen. Okay. What's up, some short people? Nice to see you again. How you doing? Pick up, then drinking and games. I'm still upset about Sugar Sean. I know. You know, the only reason why I'm upset about that Sushi Coochie is because I wanted to see that fight. I wanted to see that fight, dude. 100. Thank you guys very much. Thank you very much, Online Coffee, and everybody else that helped out with that. Appreciate that. My work here is done. Thank you, Shadow. Yeah, thank you guys. It was tough. It was tough, man. That was tough. Anywho, I'm gonna move on from UFC unless you guys got something else for me. I'm gonna go soccer because I have some questions. I got some questions, so we can talk. So Bayern Munich ends up winning, right? They end up winning the Champions League, and it was a great game to watch. PSG seemed outmatched until like the end of the game. It was weird. Like the end of the half, so the end of the half was super intense, and then they won the cup dishy thing. And then as we got into the end of the game, like towards the end, PSG started playing with this like crazy urgency. What's up, Devilish? How you doing? Devilish, get in the picks. And don't forget that we have the battle trivia coming up soon too. So if PSG would have played with that intensity the whole game, they actually could have had the outcome could have been different. They didn't play like that though. And I guess that part of it is maybe you don't want to take chances throughout the course of the game. What's up, Rick's boss? Welcome back, man. throughout the course of the game. Maybe you don't want to take unnecessary risk, but they were down 1-0 for a while. I mean, obviously pretty much the whole game, and they only turned it on in those hot spots. Now, there was a non-call that I thought was really shady, and we watched the replay and I kind of asked questions about it. But so right before the half, one of the PSG players winds up knocking down one of the Bayern Munich players as he was in the box, and they didn't call it. And what was weird to me about this, and the reason why I had a problem with this, or the problem with this non-call, is that prior to that, there were so many ticky-tack calls, like ticky-tack fouls, that I was like, really? You're going to call that? And then this guy gets knocked down and you don't call? Like, what? I don't know. Like, that was really crazy to me. Looking at the stats, Bayern Munich had 62% of ball possession. Yeah. Like, Cassell, I just feel like PSG did not push the momentum. Ricky Ticky Tack Tavi. The fix was in. We all know it. It's officiating in soccer or in football is really crazy to me. Like, it is very, very weird. I don't know, man. It's very weird. But anyway, so Bayern Munich ends up winning it. Obviously, most of us had them as favorites. So there's this drama with Messi. And so I actually have a couple things on this that I want to share with you. Okay, so number one is so Lionel Messi was on a 4-year deal with Barcelona. And so he basically makes $500,000 a week, right? So this was a $50 million contract. I'm sorry, no. It was a renewal premium. I'm sorry. It was a $50 million renewal premium, and he makes about $500,000 a week. And it's what was his deal? The total deal worth? Huh. How much was he making a year? I don't know why it doesn't show that here. Hang on. So he makes 26 million a year. There you go. He makes 26 million a year. And so apparently, and this is, I've never heard of anything like this, but in his contract, there is a clause that at the end of every season, he can opt out. He can just, no, I don't want to be with you guys anymore. For free. Like, he could just leave. Is that not crazy? He's going to go join Pep. Messi going to Man City, in my opinion. I put that there. We're going to talk about that too. It's like the rules to games here makes no sense. The fix was in. Yeah, same as hockey, refs oftentimes don't want to make those calls in a big game. I don't agree with it. I mean, I don't know. Like, if we go back to that Chelsea game, there was some pretty egregious fouls. I say football, not soccer. Yeah, that's okay, Stereo. Yeah. That's why I say football, just to mess around. He's joining the Columbus Crew for sure. So anyway, so apparently he has a clause that allows him to get out of his contract at the end of every season, right? Now, he has to do it within a certain window of time. It has to be at the end of the season. And so he just announced that now. So the controversy here is that the team is trying to say that it's too late because the season would have been over if it wasn't for coronavirus, right? Much earlier. And so he's doing it now because it's the actual end of the season. But contractually, it's supposed to be done during the normal season. So they're going to litigate this, I guess. And they're trying to say like, oh, no. You had to have said this months ago, not now. And so, like maybe he can't leave. So the way it works out is if the team gets what they want, if Barcelona gets what they want, then any team that would want to pick up Messi would have to give $700 million. almost $1 billion that they would have to give, that they're gonna have to give to get this guy. Sounds like a messy situation. Yeah. Number one, so actually, when I think about this kind of clause in the contract, is that maybe what they've done here is Messi might have said, like, he might have looked at LeBron James and said, you know, I like that LeBron writes, you know, like his deals are like year deals before, anyway, right before he went to the Lakers, is he signs for a 1-year deal so that it always keeps the team on their toes, right? And so you know, he does like a short-term deal. So maybe what Messi said to them was, listen, you have to field a winner every season, okay? I'm gonna sign a long-term deal with you, but I get to opt out if you guys don't do what I want you to do, right? And so maybe that's the thought process behind it, is like, listen, I'll only sign with you for 1 year. If you want me to sign a long-term deal, you have to put in this clause that lets me basically become a free agent if I want to, right? So then that keeps the organization honest, in that, like, you know, I could bail at any moment, so you have to give the best team, you know, on the field. You have to make the right move. So it kind of puts the player in control, or gives the player some control of what the organization is doing. Been a good morning listening. Got to run to get things going for today. Good luck, Cheeky. I hope you guys have a great tournament, man. Good luck, dude. Thank you so much for stopping in. Messi's going to go to the Premier League and then retire later in Argentina. Get out of jail free card. Yeah. Yep. That's Dr. Evil money. Also lasers. So anyway, Manchester City is saying that they're the favorites to get him. And so Man City obviously is a team that has been embroiled in controversy. And so then the question is, or not the question, but like, I guess the thought is, can you imagine if they sign Messi after everything that's happened with Man City already? So it's like the Patriots getting, it would be like the Patriots getting, you know, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. You know what I mean? Like in the same thing for like free, you know? So I don't know. I thought that this really would incite a riot. Like people would just go crazy. Like the Patriots getting Brady. No. It like getting Pat Mahomes, getting getting Pat Mahomes, getting DeAndre Hopkins and Travis Kelce. Barcelona owner is a real estate mogul. Man City owner is an oil baron. One of them has money to spare. Yeah, for sure. But that's not my point. That's not my point, Hatsu. My point is the cheaters are going to get the guy that everybody wants. Like what we thought happened when they got Antonio Brown. Yeah, yeah, exactly, Wisconsin. Yes, that's actually perfect. That's actually perfect. So Hot Soup was talking about a Premier League fantasy league. I was thinking this could be kind of cool to do for next season, you know? And I don't know, maybe I don't know, because we haven't done our first fantasy league yet, but I thought it would be cool to have something here for us to follow, you know? And kind of have our own kind of like friendly fantasy league, but I don't know. So I don't know how complex a Premier League fantasy league is, you know, but I thought it could be really cool, and you know, and we can have like a chart similar to this, but I guess, you know, we have to kind of figure all that stuff out. But I put it up there because I, number one, wanted to throw it out and see what the interest was, and number two, because it sounds like it could be cool to me, you know. And it's like one of those things, like one of the reasons why I think the NFL has been so popular for as long as it's been is because of fantasy football. And so maybe this is a way to kind of get our folks starting to learn about football. It's not too difficult to follow Fantasy Premier League. Fantasy League for NFL's too real. If we assume they play the whole season, yeah. Alliance officially welcomes the idea. All right, well, all right, so let's start our game show. So I'm gonna close pick'ems. So if you're out there and you've been lurking and you're interested in getting in on the pick'ems, now's your chance to do it. Because once I open up battle trivia, then it'll be closed, and that'll be that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start that, and I'm going to join. And so that's going to give you 120 seconds to join. And so Silent put the link there for you, and you're going to go ahead and log in with your regular Twitch account. Okay. All right. So you have about 90 seconds to join in here. This is going to be 11 questions. There'll be 10 seconds per question. You'll have 60 seconds in between battle planning rounds. You're going to be allowed 3 attacks, and you're going to be given 5 shields. Okay. So there's an associated cost with each one. So certain attacks cost 2, the others cost 1. Your shields, Eagle Eyes, costs you 4 as a shield, and 1 on Dramamine and Guano. Okay. And you have 60 seconds to join. 60 seconds to join. What's up, Sasquatch? How's it going? No, I'm not from St. Louis. What's up, Bobby Loco? Welcome to the channel. If you want to join in this, you have 50 seconds to join. 50 seconds. So time is running out. Time is running out. This is actually a really fun aspect of our sports stream. I got no idea what I'm doing. What are you talking about, Kopaja? Did you click the link? So click the link that Silent just gave you. Sign in with your Twitch account. You're going to join like I did, right? And then you'll be good to go. I don't know either. That why I don't. Can I have the link again? Yes. Silent, can you get us the link so everybody has it again? There you go. There you go. Exclamation point trivia. There you go. There's the link right there. Thank you. Go Litz. Go Litz. What's up, man? Welcome back. 4 seconds. 4 seconds. Here we go. All right. What Chicago Bears running back was referred to as the galloping ghost? Oh, damn it. I got it wrong. I got it wrong, gang. Harold Grange. All right. So actually, nobody got this right. Nobody got this right. That's funny. Oh, that's funny. Nobody got it right, huh? That is hysterical, bro. Fake news. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. So we don't have any attacks available, unfortunately, because nobody got the thing right. I wasn't even born. Good, because it wasn't general knowledge. Fake news. Are you guys good to go, Rick? Rick's boss and Go Litz. You guys got in there, Kopaja? All right, 8 seconds before our next question. Let's go, man. Here we go. Here we go. 4 seconds. I'm better than all of you because I got in here. What is the PJ record for the highest score on a par 4? Shit, I don't know. Oh, I got it. Yes. Yes. All right. Who am I attacking? Okay, BJ, Eddie, and Stormy Bear got this one right. So I am going to attack BJ with a flip the script. There you go. So I just attacked BJ. Wait, BJ, why are you attacking me? Why are you attacking me, BJ? Hot Soup is attacking Stormy Bear. Good job, Hot Soup. What about Eddie? Why aren't you attacking Eddie? I got to attack Eddie. All right, 24 seconds. So this is our battle planning segment. So what? Wait, what? I think I got shielded. Good job, Toronto. Toronto just shielded me. Thank you very much, Toronto. You're the man, baby. And so this planning period is where you can attack people or shield them or shield yourself. Oh gosh, darn it. I don't even know. Oh! Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Let's get rid of the sucker.
Oh my gosh. Y'all, are trash, son. And I move into second place, ladies and gentlemen. I'm attacking BJ again. And I'm going to go... Wait, which is the other one? Yeah, this one. Oh, he's already been targeted, really? I got to go Stormy then. No, everybody... What? Okay, who do I not like in this channel? I don't know. I can't scroll down anymore. Something's wrong. So I'm just gonna... I don't know. I'm not gonna save my points. I'm gonna save my points. Yeah, something happened on my screen. I can't scroll down. Oh, I could have defended. Yeah. Oh, I could defend. Good call. Good call. I still have time. Wait, where's my shielding? No, I can't shield. I don't know. Something's wrong with my window. Oh, gosh. Damn it. Oh, it is? Okay, okay. Thank you. Lavala, I have no idea the answer to these questions. Well, it's supposed to be general sports knowledge. I just got screwed, man. I just got screwed. You know what, Kopaja? I should just attack you to be a jerk. You know that? Whatever. Making me mad. Now I'm gonna get retribution on everybody. Bruh, he skied on the moon? I don't know, because I didn't know what the question was. Yeah, somebody, the attack that got me was the 99% where like it takes away like the fourth letter of each question, you know? Why you attack me? Did you read the question? I couldn't. How am I supposed to read the question? Nah, no shot with these questions. It's not you. Okay, got you. It's okay. Yeah. No problem. We're good. Yeah, something's wrong. It's okay. That's all right. It's all right. 5 seconds. We'll get it worked out for the next go. I can grow hair on my head. So, who was Muhammad Ali's opponent in the Rumble in the Jungle? There we go. George Foreman. That's okay, guys. So this is our first time doing it live here on a sports stream. So we'll get it worked out next time. All right. So, man, Stormy Bear, dude. Stormy Bear is in the lead here in a big way, dude. In a big way. How the hell is Shadow just behind me? This is actually really bad. Wait a second. Can I? Oh, I have no attacks remaining. I can't attack Shadow anymore. Somebody attack Shadow. Do not let Shadow get an inch here, guys. What's up, Dang Lion? How's it going? Thank you for the 33 months, buddy. I hope you're well, dude. How are things going? Did you guys find a house? Do not let him. What up, Dead Man? How's it going, bro? Yeah, so remember that every week we're gonna have different questions. It'll generally be, you know, it's gonna be sports related, but so today's general knowledge. So you kind of just have to be, what sport did Edson Arantes do Nacimiento play professionally? I mean, come on, seriously, with that name? Easy mode, dog. I accidentally clicked out and it's not letting me back in. Oh, that I don't know. Try refreshing, Greg Lee. Oh, yeah, son. I'm in third place and y'all don't have no attacks left. Shadow remains in fifth place. How is Shadow in fifth place? Guys, please be embarrassed. Dude, really, guys? You guys are going to let Shadow... Thank you, Larzo. Thank you, Larzo. Attack this man. Look at Eddie. I don't even care. As long as Shadow doesn't beat me, I'm fine. Man, your memory always amazes me. I mean, it's not a memory thing. It's just, we famo, bro. You know what I'm saying? You listen to what people have going on in their lives, man. That's all. I got love for you, homie. You've been here for 33 months. Think about that. You know what I'm saying? Wait, actually, I'll come back to that. What coach led the Boston Red Sox to their first national championship? Terry Francona. Easy mode. So anyway, Dangline, I was actually having a conversation with somebody yesterday. Oh, woo, woo. Heck yeah. Second place. Eddie's been tanked. That's right. I'm on a +3 streak, son. 71% of the questions answered correctly because I am the sports brain trust. And you guys suck. Stormy Bear. Stormy Bear. Goddamn Stormy Bear. Stormy Bear, we got to do something about this, bro. Okay? Stormy Bear, I need you to attack yourself right now. I need you. Somebody attack Stormy Bear, not Deadman, you son of a gun. Attack Stormy Bear. If you have an attack left, I need you to attack Stormy Bear if you're my friend. Oh, come on. That's not fair. You know I always choose D if I can. Listen to me. Somebody attack him. You listen to a lot of people, so the fact that after I haven't been here... Oh, which of these players was drafted before Michael Jordan in the NBA draft? Right here. I haven't been here very consistently lately. Shows me how much how much you really do care about your community. You are hands down my favorite streamer and a great friend. Thank you, dang. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, brother. So anyway, tell me about the house. Like, what's going on? 3rd place. Okay, I need you guys to like get this. Like, I need you to listen to my words. Listen to me. Stop attacking Rip and those guys. Attack Stormy and Eddie. Hello. You guys use your brains. You need to attack them right now. Do it. Attack them, not me. What up, Suspense? You guys are attacking the wrong people. Larzo, don't go tit for tat. So Ripdoc attacks Larzo and then Larzo attacks Ripdoc. What is the only US city to win 3 major sports championships in the same year? Detroit, really? What the hell? Man, I don't even know. Like what? Detroit? How did they win 3 championships? Win an NBA finals? Not in football. That's damn straight, Wisconsin Wookie. And I wish I could attack you guys. Red Wings. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah. I forgot about the Tigers. Yeah. I forgot about the Tigers. Yeah, you're right. You're right. So the Detroit Pistons. Wow, that's actually interesting. Dog, Detroit needs to not complain. Detroit fans should be happy. That's actually amazing that that happened. Right, because the Red Wings at the time were great. And the Detroit Pistons were really good. And the Tigers went on a run. I mean, they weren't like great forever. They won that with the same manager that the Marlins won their first one with. What was that guy's name? Who holds the record for most NASCAR wins? Dale Earnhardt, Richard Petty. I'm not even a NASCAR fan, and I just know everything. Jim Leland, thank you. Yeah. Oh! If you guys would have attacked Eddie, I could be in first place right now. We can't attack them anymore. They have already been attacked. Unbelievable. I gotta get this. Okay, focus. Everyone focus. I'm changing monitors so I can really focus. Hold on a second. I gotta get this. 33 seconds. I have to get this. I have to outdo Eddie. I have to read faster than him, and I have to have more sports knowledge than him, or I lose. You guys failed me by not attacking Eddie earlier. I'm really upset about this. I just want you to know. That's why I have this microphone so close to my mouth, because I'm actually angry with all of you right now. Inside, I'm raging. I'm raging right now. I could have been number 1. I'm actually super disappointed in all of you. So disappointed. The fact that you allowed Eddie to get above me. What school holds the record for the most consecutive NCAA basketball? Oh, shit. God! I could have beat him if I would have got it right. If I would have got it right, I could have beat him. I'm super disappointed right now. One person can only be attacked a max of 3 times. Yes, Blano, what do you want? It obviously wouldn't have been the Lions that helped with that. Yeah, I know for sure. I'm so sad right now. Nice work, Eddie. Listen, Eddie didn't win, so who cares? 7th place, not bad for totally guessing. Finished 6th, not bad. Hey, listen, at least you got ahead of Shadow. Okay, Deadman, that's the most important thing. Alliance placement. Gonna be a long week. I was so close, man. I was so close. Only lost because 50% of the time I was in my kitchen cooking. Oh yeah, that's the only reason, Kopaja? Okay. Yeah, if you say so. If you say so. Oh man, listen, you know what? That's on me though, boys. That's on me because I was in the driver's seat. If I win, if I get that question right, I win the game. But I dropped the ball, man, you know? And so you got to accept responsibility for when you fail. And so I dropped the ball there. However, I do want to point out that if you guys would have attacked Eddie for me or Stormy, then I would have won. So while I did miss that question and my fate was in my own hands, you guys could have helped me out. And you know what? And sometimes I need a little bit of help. I didn't come dead last like I do getting picked for teams. Cassell, you'll never be picked last here, buddy, just so you know. First time I had joined that, good fun. Eddie only made 1 attack. He was already maxed on being attacked after the first 3 questions. Gotcha. I know. It's okay. That's all right, guys. It's all good, man. Yeah, we're working on it, you know. We're working on it. Eventually, maybe we get like on this screen, like we'll have the podium like we did before, because I like to talk trash about the podium and stuff. We should up the number. That's okay. Yeah, we'll work on it. Yeah. This is the first iteration as always. We'll figure it out. When did we start working to help you? Shut up. Anyway, that's going to be the show today. I want to say thank you to everybody that hung out with us today. Really appreciate it. I hope that you'll consider hanging out in the future. The next stream will be on Monday and we'll be playing video games. And I hope you, number one, enjoyed the broadcast. I hope you enjoyed chat, enjoyed the camaraderie and the community that we have here. And hopefully you followed the channel. And hopefully you enjoyed it and will consider being with us next time. Those of you that helped out with the pick'ems today and with the battle trivia, thank you very much. You guys are legendary. Thank you for keeping the energy flowing today. We had a little bit of a slowdown there, and you know, so like sometimes I need that little kind of like, you know, giddy up too, you know. So thanks for kind of giving me that fuel to keep going and keeping me jazzed up. So, hey, Stormy, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Thanks, buddy. And Beerbo Drinkins, thank you for the follow. Like the name, by the way. And dang, hit me up, bro. Shoot me a DM. Let me know what's going on, man. Anyway, I'm going to throw a raid to somebody or a host to somebody. And I'll be back Monday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Hopefully, I'll see you there. And if not, then we'll catch you next time. Thanks for everything. Have a great weekend. Be safe and be good, man. I'll catch you Monday. Yeah, Fuel. Take it easy, buddy. Peace out, everybody.